Beatles rock band game will make millions of people happy until it is broken up by the Yoko Ono rock band game.
The fuck are we watching?
I don't know, but I need some more of that shit.
I removed myself. Welcome everyone to Waits with Wize, episode 46. I was supposed to remove this. You know, the problem is StreamYard is great, but sometimes you got too many fucking screens. I need to get a new monitor. I got 15 windows open up here right now, and I can't see shit. So, yeah. Got a little bit of a change. I got a new backdrop and everything. So, yeah. The reason we call this episode 46, Come On, Feel the Noise, there was a whole lot of shit going on this week regarding Xbox and everything. And yeah, we will get into it in due time. So let me go ahead and start off with my panelists who have been here weekly. Let me introduce you to Super. Super, what's my man? What's up? How's your week been going? What you been doing? What you been playing?
It's been going good. Still going through God of War with my nephew. We still are going through Ragnarok. We got to Ragnarok now, so we're going through that, and then playing Elden Ring, going through the expansion.
Okay, cool. So, how far along in the Elden Ring expansion are you?
We beat the final boss, but there's obviously still a lot of stuff to see and do. And
you beat the final boss? What level are you?
Oh, I don't even know. 300 something. I don't know.
So how long did it take you? Like, did you really struggle with that shit or what?
Yeah, but we also, me and my buddy, we beat it post patch, and they whatever they did, whatever they adjusted, it made a world of difference because he went in and he beat the final boss by himself, and then he went in with me and we beat him together. But prior to the patch, the final boss was it was fucking insanity. So props to anyone who actually beat the final boss pre-patch, because that shit was a nightmare.
Yeah, that was me. I beat him on Monday. I had to switch up my build to do so, but I didn't. I was actually helping some people out, just going in and just offering to co-op it with people, just to because I wanted to kind of just go through the fight again, and I did kind of notice that I don't know what changes they made. I felt like he took damage a little bit easier, but then he also was breaking through my shield block a little bit. Like before, I was using the whole I guess the meta way of beating him now is to basically get a great shield, just max it out, and make sure it has 100% physical damage negation. And then get weapons that will rot or bleed the enemy, and that you can actually poke at him with from behind the shield. And that's the strategy a lot of people are using. But he's still because if you don't have the stamina to hold the shield up while he's basically battering on you, then yeah, you're still gonna get clapped. So it's I think people are still being challenged by it, but it's not as bad as it was pre-patch.
I think that I don't know exactly specifically the changes, but if I recall correctly, it was something to do with the way the Skadutri fragments. I guess it's supposedly pronounced Shadutri. I'm not pronouncing it.
I have no idea. It's so weird.
Skadutri. But yes, evidently they adjusted the scaling of the fragments to, I think, where you got more benefits up front, whereas before it was you got more of the benefits on the back end.
Right.
But I know that I was at Skadutri level, I think 18 or 19.
Oh wow.
My buddy had found all of them. I was missing 3 of the fragments.
They also did another thing with that. So if you get all of them, you get they increase the damage that you do and increase the damage negation that you get from where it was before. So I guess they did that to incentivize people actually going forward and making sure they get everything. But that was wow. Your buddy did a lot of exploring.
Well, I mean, I found everything but 3, and that was just from organically playing the game. We went and explored as many places as we could.
Yeah.
And then, he had to go search for the final 3. But
Okay, well,
Yeah.
full disclosure for both of you, since you guys are apparently experts in this game, I am not. Okay, I am the whatever you guys are. I'm the fucking opposite of that. Okay, so yeah. Okay, let me put it out there. I keep getting out of those freaking catacombs. I mean, I want to play this game. I really want to play this game, but every time I get my ass handed to me by that fucking tree sentinel. That when you get out, you see them. So
you mean the beginning of the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
So here's my story, and Super knows this famously, right? I was like, I didn't know because I thought this is like an Elden Ring game, so there's like no way you can cheese your way and level up and one hit them or whatever, right? So I thought you're gonna have to just get good. I spent close to an hour and a half trying to, off that fucker. Now my son comes in now. Never has played an Elden Ring game. Never, period. He's not even an Xbox guy. He plays on a PlayStation controller. He's like, hey, is that the new Elden Ring everyone's talking about? I'm like, yes. He picked up the controller. Never had played that fucking game once, okay? Beat the guy in his first pass in 10 minutes.
Has he played any other Dark Souls-ish games? Because the combat and the way you fight is all the same. It's just the difference with Elden Ring is it's open world. So everything else is pretty much the same.
Well, see, I don't know. I know he plays, he's a 15-year-old kid, right? He plays Valorant and all that other crap this generation of kids play, right?
Right.
So I don't know if he's played any Souls-like. I've asked him in the past. He doesn't even know what the fuck a Souls-like is. So I presume no. I mean, So, no, the thing is this, right? He beat it in 15 minutes. I got frustrated for my geriatric ass wasn't able to pass it, right? So I was like, well, crap, fuck this shit. I'm gone. I'm done, right? But then I keep going back, and now I'm in another place called the Stormfell Catacombs. Freaking gremlin killed me with a damn dagger. Okay, this is the same freaking gremlin that you see. You remember the old Final Fantasy, the first freaking imp that you fight? That's what it was. It killed me.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
those are very annoying in those.
Those little gargoyles are hanging out on the fucking cave walls and shit.
Yeah, they hide behind pillars and walls. You walk into a room, they just stab you directly in the back as soon as you walk in. Yeah, they don't have a lot of health, but they can be,
They hit hard.
They hit hard, and when you're not paying attention, they can definitely clap you. Yeah, I would say what you probably want to do is do some farming, do some rune farming. There's spots that they have developed within the game, and they didn't nerf them when people found them. They kind of just tell, hey, go farm runes to your heart's content, level yourself up, get yourself a little bit stronger, so that you can kind of take on some of the things that are out there. I mean, of course, there's guys out here that I beat the game level 1, butt naked with a butter knife, and it's just hey, look, more power to you.
That ain't me.
That ain't me. It ain't me either. I don't need to do it. I ain't got nothing to prove. So let me get the best armor, give me the best weapons that everyone's using. What's the best? Rivers of Blood? Oh yeah, let me take that. By the way, don't get Rivers of Blood now. That's been nerfed, but still, just
that sounds nice. Google's what is the new meta build?
Yeah. And you will find a lot of builds that really work. You just need to find a build that works and you're comfortable with. Yeah.
Okay.
You got it.
Because my whole thing is I want to get into this game, but everywhere I go, I get my ass handed to me on a silver platter, and it's okay, well, where the fuck am I supposed to?
I mean, that's gonna happen. It's not an easy game. No matter where you go, any enemy can almost kill you single-handedly. And if there's a couple of them and you're not doing what you got to do, 3 enemies of regular basic bitch enemies can easily kill you. It doesn't even matter if you're higher level. So, I mean, that's just one of those things you're going to have to overcome. But in terms of a Souls game, dude, this is, for me, the most accessible Souls game, because where other games, you would come up to a boss and then you couldn't beat that boss. That's it. Your progression in that game fucking it grinds to a halt. You can't go anywhere else. Now you have to just farm in that area or other areas just to get past this boss. In Elden Ring, you get stuck on a boss, fuck this boss, I'll come back later. You go explore the entire rest of the world, fighting other, mini bosses and finding, other tombs and catacombs. And by the time you come back to that boss, now you're going to kick his ass. But there's that freedom of once you get to this place, you're not stuck. If that happens to you in Bloodborne or Sekiro, dude, you're not going anywhere until you get past that boss.
You know, I have a feeling. I have a faint feeling here, right? Y'all remember the Matrix, I think it was the Matrix 2 when we had the what's that guy's name? The architect, right? And he walked into the room and he saw I have this unescapable feeling, okay, that Miyazaki has in his offices somewhere, like that wall of TVs, and everyone who's playing his game right now, he's watching in real time. And I have a feeling that he's watching me play and he's like fucking pathetic, you know?
No, that feeling was gas. Wize, you had gas.
Oh, yeah. Well,
he's not pathetic. He's sitting there rubbing his nipples, going, "Excellent," because your pain brings him pleasure.
Yeah, and you know the funny thing is, he said he's not that good at gaming, and I'm like, well, fuck, man. Like, if you ain't good at gaming and you made this shit, you know, like, what am I supposed to do? You know, I'm like, I don't know, but yeah, I've been trying to get into this game, and like, it's dude,
amazing. This is, in my opinion, the best DLC that's ever existed. Period. It is not a DLC. It's a whole new fucking game. This is Elden Ring 2.
I heard the Cyberpunk DLC was just as good.
I actually like the Cyberpunk DLC more, in my opinion. I feel like they for CDPR with Phantom Liberty, they found their way of making their game design more efficient and concise, and doing it in a way where like they finally like hit their level for them, their stride. That's it. Thank you. Yeah, they hit their stride, because Phantom Liberty, storytelling wise, fantastic. How they designed each mission, and kind of like, and even to the point where, like, depending on your choices, completely different like experiences that you'll get. Like, for example, and I'm not going to do any spoilers, but in Phantom Liberty, depending on your choices, you could have.
Spoil it. Nobody cares. Come on now. I mean, there has to be a statute
I'm
of
not.
limitation.
Well, yeah, it's just a year, but still, I'm still like, because like, you know, I'm all talking about how great it is, and then I spoiled the ending. People are like, well, damn, all right, well, I guess I'm not going to play it. But
Spoiler alert.
Push
Remember,
back. Ain't nobody playing that game right now. They
Wize
ain't
likes
playing it.
Pokeballs. If it doesn't have Pokeballs in it, Wize doesn't care.
I like balls of any kind, Pokeballs or otherwise. Okay, let me go ahead and put that on record.
Wize likes
slow-mo.
Pokeball.
Slow-mo. Sorry, bro.
Okay, you good. No, I'm just saying, like, there's sections of Phantom Liberty that some people didn't even experience, but they're straight stealth. Like, you're being stalked by like a monster machine. You can't fight it, so you literally have to like. It completely changes the gameplay, where you're basically, you got your build, you got your V character, and you're just ripping through everybody, whether you're doing it through melee or shooting guns or whatever, cybernetics, whatever. And you got this enemy that you can't fight, and you got to find your way through this dark area while also like trying to do the things you need to do. It's like, it's so different. And I think that CDPR really nailed that. Whereas although I thoroughly enjoyed, you know, Shadow of the Erd Tree, it still got that FromSoft stuff that's just, what are we doing?
Yeah.
How do you make the frame rate even worse for the entire game? Not just the DLC, the entire game. Like on PC, there are now drops where it drops to 0. You could have a 4090. You could have a PC where your GPU could power a spaceship, right? And then the freaking PC drops to 0 frames per second in certain areas. It's like, that should not be happening. Optimize your game.
Well, no, they're doing that. They're doing that so you can take a break and fry eggs, because the fans are now working overtime.
Let me keep going. Right. Let me keep going. Paul, my man, how's your week been going? What you been doing? What you been playing, boss?
It sucks. Other than that,
you've been sucking all week.
You've been sucking.
You've been really been working for money, haven't you?
Damn.
Hey, listen. Don't shame this man. He pays his bills.
You gotta give your jaws a break, man.
Remember my deal about being still being on this show. Wize.
Okay.
Do that
No. We just we were just repeating what you're saying.
No, you know what you were doing. Stop it.
No, all jokes aside, how's everything been going, and what you been playing? Anything good?
What have I been playing? I don't know. Let's see. I've done like 4 hours of Still Wakes of Deep. I think I'm almost done with it, but I've been doing it on stream for the Xbox Ambassador channel. Other than that, I finished Assassin's Creed Mirage finally. but I'm doing a little bit of cleanup there to pick up a couple of achievements that I can easily still get. So,
Mhm.
and then I don't know what I'm going to do next. Really, I haven't decided yet. So,
Well, you probably got a big back catalog, do you not? I presume like everybody else, right? What is like?
yeah,
your
it's
next-
just a matter of I'll start playing something, go, okay, this is it, and then I'll play, then I'll do something. Plus, there's a bunch of new stuff coming out really soon here, so Plus, I tried that new Robin Hood game on Game Pass. Didn't care for it. It's not accessibility friendly, and to me, it just feels it's a loose game. The tutorials are kind of out there.
It feels cheesy.
Not cheesy. I mean, it just doesn't. It's not drawing me in, and I'm somebody who likes all the Legend of Robin Hood beyond the movies and stuff. I've actually read a lot of the base stories that all this stuff comes from.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
fact,
so okay, let me ask you this. Okay, if in a perfect world, like if you had nothing, if you had like no obligation in front to play, like whatever you might have for your ambassador channel, what would you like to go back to that you never finished or never started and wanted to start to begin with?
Well, there's really nothing that I've never finished that I've wanted to. I don't know about that. I never had a chance to start because it's just dude, look at my playlist. I play like freaking everything.
Yeah, I know, but there's still got to be something. Like, I mean, I presume, like, you do this like for a living, and so I know that you go through more games than most of us do. But at the same time, there's still got to be a back catalog, right? So,
well, there is, and most of it's Game Pass and stuff like that. But again, most of the games that I've at least wanted to look at, I have.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, I need to talk to you after the stream about something.
Oh, am I getting called to the principal's office?
Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna paddle you.
You've been a bad boy.
Okay. In case I don't make it all the way, just tell me: is it good news or bad news, or is it kind of in the middle?
It's news. It's like basically hanging in the middle, basically. Or I can DM you if you leave early. It's not a big deal. Nothing that big.
But it's not. You're screwed.
No, it's not. Not you're screwed.
Okay, good.
It's not the best news. It's not the worst news. It's just news.
I think I
Let's
know
give
what
you
he's
an
going to talk about.
Right. All right, Triple, my man. How's your week been going? What you been doing? What you been playing, boss?
Week's been okay. Still playing Elden Ring and getting destroyed as usual, getting lost in.
Well, apparently you're not as good as Supernova and Slow-Mo because you've not beaten it yet. They have already. I'm just drawing a line in the sand. I'm stating the obvious. You have to get good, dude.
I mean, I didn't even say if I beat it. You just assumed, but no, I haven't beat it. I'm I am currently out at the the Abyss Woods, getting my Metal Gear Solid action going and getting insta killed. So that's been fun.
Oh yeah, those fuckers.
Yeah, they remind me of the enemies from Bloodborne, and I hate looking them in the face. But yeah, it's been great. It's been a good game so far.
Evidently, you can parry them, but I haven't successfully parried them.
How are you gonna parry? They like Instagram you. How do you?
Yeah, I heard that too, and I never tried. I really hate that. That's probably the only part of Erdtree I really can't stand because you can't use the torrent. You can't use your horse.
He's terrified. It's better than, how can I put it, Starfield for stealth sections. I will say that much. So it doesn't feel like I've gotten destroyed because of terrible stealth mechanics, but it still sucks where you get caught and you're just screwed. I dodge them for X amount of time. I get mad and despaired and die or grab, and I'm just like, all right, this sucks. So
because if they see you, they just run.
They just chase you. They chase you for the whole map. Yeah. So
there was that one scene where I went. Okay, so I went that one direction with the fucking sentinel. So I said, okay, that's not going to work. So I ran into the other direction, and they sent a fucking dragon at me. Like some fucking.
In the beginning, in Limgrave. You must have went into the swamp area.
My ass got out of there quick. Like I ran, there was a sale on the red light district type situation.
You can't run. They will teleport to you and just chase you down.
No.
You cannot run away from them.
No, I ran all the way to where, like in the beginning, where you start, and then the thing followed me there, and then the freaking tree sentinel came. Now I have a tree sentinel and a dragon. I'm like, well, fuck this shit. I'm done.
I'd rather be dealing with them because at least you have a chance to kill him.
No, I don't. I don't.
Or the dragon can help you out in fucking taking out the tree sentinel because then they can actually hurt each other.
They fight each other?
No, not that they
They can hurt
fight
each
each other, but like
I'm
if
like-
that dragon does some attack and that tree sentinel's in the area of that attack, that tree sentinel's taking all that damage too.
I got invaded once, and somebody thought the AI couldn't hurt him. He killed. He got
So
killed
what
by
you're
the AI
saying is
just
that you
next
want
time.
my ass to be bait, basically.
I mean, you still got torrent. Just run away with torrent, unless you didn't get torrent first and you were on foot. Then
I'm still
kinda
on foot.
Well, go to the church. Just sneak past.
Yeah, you don't have to fight that sentinel. You can just wait for him to trot his behind like a little bit further down the road, run to the church, hit that site of grace, go into the woods there, and then you'll run into like a little soldier camp. Those guys are all easy to kill. Farm on them for a little bit. Get your runes up. Then you hit the site of grace, and then you're going to get approached by this woman who's going to be like, "Hey, I see you struggling here. Let me help you out."
I'm glad the games I've been playing have not been that complicated. I ain't got time for that no more.
This is what you actually do. You run past everything. You run to the northeast or northwest side of the map, find a portal, go teleport to K-Lid, run past everybody, pick up this item, then run back, get the great sword first, and then run back, and then you fight the tree sentinel.
Why do I feel like he's setting me up for some shit?
The what and the who and the where and the what?
I think Slow-Mo's advice was better. So
there's one thing about FromSoft games that I really can't stand, and that's the same thing with Elden Ring. Is it is very, very easy to lock yourself out of side quests because you didn't realize that if you fucking happened to kick that pebble over there before you went and rang the bell over there, and then went and pat that horse on the ass over there, that it was gonna lock you out of a fucking quest. Like it happened. I've been locked out of so many quests because I had no idea that I did something that even initiated or started a quest, or there was a process along the line in a quest. It's not like a game where you can see, okay, what are my active quests? What are my side quests? What stuff? There's none of that shit.
Yeah, they're very vague with those kind of things, and I kind of side eye the people that just like, I finished the Ronnie quest line without looking at guides. I'm like, you didn't.
You stumbled across that shit.
It's just like there's so much. Like for example, there's a part where you find a doll and you don't know what to do with it, and then it just obviously go to a grace, you sit down, and then you talk to it. Like, how is that obvious? They never said anything.
I think they put it in. It's been a while. I think it's in the menus, but yeah, there are quest lines like you got to either get lucky in stumbling across them, or you probably got to look them up. Because I was trying to figure out.
I have to say this. This game seems like it needs an old school super thick strategy guide. Go through the game.
It did have a strategy guide. I think it was like 3 volumes. Like the original game before the DLC, there was like a hardback edition that was released by, I don't know, whoever publishes these strategy guides. There was like 3 of them, and I think each one was like $60. So if you wanted all 3, it was like $180.
Hey, look, in 2024, your strategy guide is Google. It's free. You can find everything you need to find.
I literally just did a quest because I was trying to get an item in the base game map, because I went back to the base game map to get an item I never grabbed when I played that game that I wanted for the build I was trying to build. And it was literally talk to this fucking girl, then go down the hill, talk to this guy.
Is it Millicent? Is it Millicent?
It is Millicent, yeah. And then come back and talk to the girl. Then you got to rest at a site of grace. And then she's like standing up when she wasn't standing up before. Then you got to go back and talk to the guy. And then you got to go back and talk. And then all of a sudden now she'll be at a different spot on the map. She doesn't say, "Hey, I'm taking off, guy. If you want to talk to me again, I'm going to be over here." And that's where I'll be. No, she don't say shit. Like you have to somehow randomly find her in the open world again and then talk to her there. Like there's all these fucking. I don't understand how
half a dozen quest lines just like that.
Figure this shit out.
It's like in my playthrough, there are some things that I did stumble across. I'm trying to think. I think the worst part for me with Ronnie's quest was finding where the fuck the meteor crashed at, because I didn't figure look up in the sky and there you go, you found the lost city. I was like, oh shit. But I have stumbled across some of them, but a lot of others I just have not completed. Like the monk or whatever, the holy teacher at the site of grace or at the round table. Never finished the quest line because I don't know where the fuck he disappeared. Like, I'm leaving. I was like,
you mean the Golden Order dude?
Yeah, I don't know where he
went.
Oh
yeah, I did that. I think you gotta do that one to get the platinum. I think.
No,
it's not.
The good thing, the good thing about Elden Ring
achievement.
Yeah, good thing about the achievements is that they're fairly straightforward. Beat the game, collect like specific weapons, and you're done. But I was missing one weapon that you can't get if you progress too far into the game. So that was kind of shitty. You had to look up a guide for that one because it was like, oh yeah, if you get through the end, you're gonna miss it. I was like, oh, that's literally the only weapon you can miss.
Even beating certain bosses will then lock you out of particular quest lines, and there's no knowing that. Oh, when I beat this boss, it's gonna lock me out of quests. Like you don't know, and you won't know unless you look it up, and then you find out. Oh, I can't talk to this person anymore. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys have totally convinced me that game is not for me.
Hey,
I will be honest. I will be honest.
That is actually great because
your geriatric ass can't play it anyways with all your arthritis problems.
but I think some people get caught up in like the popular game of the moment, and it's just like it's not really for them. It's not their vibe. It's not the kind of games they experience and enjoy. And then like the people who love these Souls games, like they love being tortured. Like part of the fun is dying over and over again, the frustration, just to get to that point where you finally beat the boss and they have that euphoria.
To be fair, though, these very kind of mysterious quests that you don't know, what the steps are or where you have to go. They're not all too different than a lot of the shit in old school Zelda games.
Excuse me, guys. I have to say that you're talking to a guy that has played Tomb Raider from the very first one.
Oh my God! This fucking guy in his goddamn Tomb Raider and his perky titties, man.
I know hard. I don't mind hard, but I don't like just complicated.
At your age, ain't nothing hard about your life.
That.
Period. Anything.
I wouldn't say
played that super complicated hard. Now, I don't mind playing hard games. I never have. But when you have to go do this and do that to get this,
so just to beat the base game, you don't have to jump through 20 hoops just to beat the game. It's really when you're trying to find specific quest lines who have like specific items, like any game have side quests. That's where the complexity comes in. But just to play through it,
these are all optional.
You don't have to do too much.
Yeah, but I have heard for the campaign. People tell me if you want to beat the final boss, it's best to do some of them quests to get your level.
Not for the quest, but like you want talismans. You want
specific talismans. Yeah,
I would say you want certain items that are going to help you.
To level up, you don't need to do any quests. Like your XP is tied solely to enemies you fight and some of the currency items you pick up. You don't have to do any,
which is normal, right? Which is normal for some games.
So if anyone say you have to do side quests to beat the game, you don't. There's not a single side quest you have to do to beat the game, to my knowledge.
Okay, I do want to get back to this discussion, but before we do, I want to say hello to everybody in the chat.
You didn't ask me what I've been playing.
I'm gonna get to you old geezer.
We haven't even finished intros yet.
Yeah.
This is typical. All right, I get it.
To be honest, you guys were talking about
calls
I
we
wasn't paying
trash
attention.
and we got sidetracked.
Let me know when we're actually going to talk about interesting stuff. And then
Real Gamer Reincarnate says, "What's up, El Drunkos? We are doing good." Mr. Bushido N7, he said I was asking him to be on, but he said nah, he's gonna chill for tonight. So, Mr. Bushido, how are you doing? WW Snipes, what's up, my man? Welcome everyone, and please hit the like and subscribe as well, please. So yeah, if you have any questions, please post it, and we will ask the panel and answer accordingly.
I'll say it again. We don't like you like that, but we'll do it.
Well, let me keep going. Let me go ahead and introduce one of my first guests. He's been on several times, so he's not really a guest. He's more of a panelist, one generation removed, I guess. KY Bob, my man, what you been doing? What you been playing? And oh yeah, by the way, this arrogant ass decided to send me some gameplay. So he's this is his gameplay on his 4080 Ti with his AMD fucking Threadripper, and
it's not a Threadripper, it's a Ryzen 9.
I don't know any of this shit. I'm working off of a MacBook Pro, dude. Come on,
Oh, that explains a lot.
Oh, go fuck yourself. You can spell MacBook Pro, damn it.
Yeah, but I mean,
how you been doing and what you been playing? Bye. Go ahead.
I play on everything. I was playing an oldie but a goodie on my PS5 yesterday. I was playing Days Gone. I was playing Survival, Fountain of Youth, early access game on Steam the day before that. The day before that, I was playing Still Wakes the Deep on my Series X on Xbox Game Pass. I play everywhere. If it's out there, I'll play it wherever it's more convenient for me to play. Don't care who's got exclusives or who gets to play them. We're gamers at the end of the day and not worshipers of plastic boxes. So,
Yeah, we worship other types of plastic.
when the game, latex. when the games and the developers win, we all win. Fuck the corporations. But I do believe Microsoft is pushing the industry. As we can see now, clearer than ever, their strategy is to be everywhere. Not only with a Samsung TV, but with any other TV in existence with a certain stick that you plug in the back of it.
Oh, they got LGs now too with the app. So,
but yeah, I've had a really busy week gaming. Yesterday I did a podcast at 4:00, the Xbox Live Party podcast, which is where I got my start as a panelist a few years ago. They had their 150th episode, and they had me on as one of the old school panelists as a guest. It was a lot of fun. And then I turned right around and did my show at 7:00, Game Set Live on my YouTube channel. So yeah, it was. And Wize was nice enough to guest on that show and make me basically have to take it down off YouTube and get defunded.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime I could do you a big favor, let me know.
Anytime he can cost you monetization, hey, he's good.
He does that. As soon as he hops in, the first words out of his mouth are always dildos and assholes. And
he does that, so you'll never ask him again.
All in the same place.
All right. Okay. So X-Men, my man, how you been doing? How's your week been progressing? What you been playing and what you been
It's
thinking?
all right. I've been getting stuff done. Other than that, believe it or not, I went old school. I'm enjoying NBA Jam again from the 360 and Rainbow Six Vegas. I just hooked on nostalgia right now this week.
Yeah, I see that. Well, it's been going on since last week, hasn't it? For a certain extent, with the Tomb Raider, and then with the announcement of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and then with all this stuff. So you've been in like nostalgia heaven right about now, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I got like I said, I got my Marvel ready on my PC and on the wish list, so I'm good to go.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And popping his wasted cherry for the first time on the show, Slow Mo Backslap. How are you
I'm
doing,
sorry,
sir?
Slow Mo. I'm so sorry, man.
Right, here we go.
You know, popping your cherry on here is kind of like popping a cherry with a hooker, right?
Oh man, am I coming out of this with permanent things? I gotta get medication for.
The same. You're gonna want to get checked. That's all we're saying.
Yeah. You're gonna get digital herp.
We don't.
Damn.
But on our podcast, we don't really give a flying fuck what got you into gaming. We don't really care. We just know that you're a gamer. We just want to know the fuck you're drinking.
It's an interesting story.
I'm actually drinking a Red Bull because it's been that kind of day with work. But no, I mean, yeah.
Why you got Colt 45 on the damn screen?
Because that's the only thing your geriatric ass will recognize.
Oh man,
Fireball is disgusting.
I like Fireball.
Fireball with what is it? Apple cider.
Fireball is delicious.
Oh yeah, Fireball with apple cider.
Apple
That shit
cider
is-
is
Nah, it was for me. It was E&J when I was younger, and Old English 800.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
It's a Chicago thing.
That is so ghetto. That is so ghetto, dude.
Well, it's a Chicago thing.
Can you let this man talk?
White people were doing it too.
Can you let this man talk? Okay, go
Okay,
ahead, Slow
go
Mo.
ahead,
What you been drinking and what you been playing?
Drinking a Red Bull right now because I'm pretty damn tired. But outside of what I've been playing, as we said earlier, Elden Ring. Shadow of the Erdtree, beat that on Monday, and I've been actually co-oping, trying to help other people beat the final boss. In addition to, I got 3 other characters in Elden Ring that I'm trying to get through the DLC as well. And Forza Horizon 4 got delisted, is getting delisted later this year, and was on sale on Steam
December
for like
15th.
$20, Ultimate Edition on Steam. So I wouldn't cop that. And unfortunately, there's no cross save, so I lost all of my cars. So I'm kind of running through it on my PC. You know, I got a 4080 Super 2. You know, I got a nice Intel i7 13700K CPU.
That's the card. That's the CPU I got. I love that.
64 gigs of RAM. I got the fastest SSD you can get. Basically, I got a beast PC, and so I'm playing it at 4K max settings, 144 frames per second and still got a little overhead to go with. So it's pretty awesome. I've been having a good time though.
That's good. That's good. Well, hopefully you have a good time, and just say what you
Totally
want.
makes
And if you offend anybody, great. That's what we want. Especially Paul. If you agitate his ass, it's like,
No,
That's like a rite of passage.
If you do that tonight, I'll probably just leave. I probably just won't be able to work.
Hey, Paul, did you cut your hair like you said you were gonna do?
Well, you don't miss a thing. We've been talking about it all week. Boy,
Yeah, Paul is not going to be as vocal as he used to be. He basically, like Samson, he cut off his hair and now he's lost his strength.
Is that why he's in the dark?
Exactly.
No, I'm in the dark because I have a headache and I don't want the bright lights on.
That, and he's drunk. He's recovering from a hangover. So
Broadcasting from the
World
closet.
destruction.
Nope.
Tales from the dark side.
all right, so let's go ahead and get into some of the topics. Some of the smaller topics today. This week they announced the Dead Rising Deluxe remake. This is an official remake. This game came out. I think it came out initially on the 360. Did it not?
2006.
Yeah. Anybody in the panel interested in this remake? I, for one, am. I really enjoyed Dead Rising. I didn't care for Dead Rising 2 as much, but I did like Dead Rising quite a bit with Frank West. And looking forward to the game. Did they make an announcement as to when the release date is? I don't remember seeing that. Does anyone
That's
remember?
going to be touched on Monday, July the 1st.
Oh, okay. They're going to announce the release date.
They're
July
going to
1st.
have a show where they're going to talk about that, the Assassin's Creed remakes. They're going to talk about a lot of things Monday.
Okay,
Hopefully they stay Splinter Cell. Damn it.
Right?
Yeah,
that's not
man.
gonna
You have a better chance of getting a unicorn that's rainbow colored than to get Splinter Cell. They're not doing another Splinter Cell unless it's
But isn't that's Ubisoft though?
Yeah.
yeah,
So, but isn't like Dead Rising Capcom?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know
what
why.
was that?
I'm still
they-
praying for it. I'm
man.
sorry. I still want to. I
Some-
understand
some random company's
every
gonna-
every remake. I say, please give me a new Splinter Cell.
Okay.
That's
fair.
just me.
That's fair. Like they were getting, I want to, and I was like, nah, you're not getting it.
No, but seriously, anyone interested in this? Like, I personally am looking forward to this one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've never been into Dead Rising. I always kind of I like Left 4 Dead, but Dead Rising just never seemed to appeal. I never played one, so I can't say it's like bad or anything.
Yeah,
I just
I don't think I've
I've
ever
seen
played
it and I've just been like, not for me.
I
But
think we're the
I'm
same.
glad they're bringing it back
Really.
though, because there are people who like it. There are people who like Dead Rising, so might as well
Yeah.
bring it back, see what happens.
It's just
It
a
seems
remaster.
very silly though. That's a reason why I never really got into it.
No, I don't think it's a remaster. I think it's a full-on remake from the ground
It's
up.
it's a full remake.
Mhm.
Okay, I thought it said remaster in that clip you were just showing.
No, it says,
It does say remaster.
it says deluxe remaster, but I think it's like when they talked about it on Twitter. I think they're saying it's like a full ground up remake.
They're not using the original voice actor that did Frank West, so it's not gonna. I don't know.
Well,
that could be a
if
downfall.
it's going to be a remake, why not just call it remake? Capcom calls their remakes remake.
Right.
And if it's a deluxe remake, remaster,
Deluxe remaster, yeah.
then they're going to give you all the DLC, updated DLC to come with it.
Well, I'm looking at this trailer. The game design of it does look kind of like old school. Like if you look at like the old Resident Evil games and then look at the Resident Evil remakes, you can definitely tell, yeah, that's a remake just by like the level design and how it's been developed. It's on a new engine. The engine looks fantastic. The controls are very different. Not those trash Resident Evil 10 controls aren't in there. So it's just that's a remake. But then if you look at that like from that trailer, from what I'm seeing, I mean that looked like another regular Dead Rising game with just like a facelift. So
If
I
it
can
was
see
a
it being
full-on
a remaster.
remake, if it was a full-on remake, I think I'd be interested. If it remastered, not so much. And I like the original Dead Rising, but I also remember how clunky the controls were in that fucking game, so I don't really care to revisit it.
Their official Twitter page calls it a remaster. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
It says in the title. It said it in the video.
I'm just saying you guys were questioning, and I'm telling you that officially the person has called it a remaster. So or yeah. So they're just they may be replacing the original voice actor, but they're probably using a lot of the same old, the original assets and stuff, and they're just bringing them up to date.
They'll just change the controls. This control scheme.
I don't understand the point in changing any of the voice acting at all if it's just a
It
remaster.
could be
There's
contractual, dude. Could be contractual.
Maybe.
Okay, here's one thing. Where's Dino Crisis? Where's the remake of Dino Crisis?
Man, I've been begging for that shit. I want a Dino Crisis remake.
So
I honestly think the answer to that is that when we played Dino Crisis back in the old PS1,
it was so awful.
Like it was the tank controls, it was clunky. The dinosaurs were slow. If they were to give it the remake or treatment, or the dinosaurs can't be slow and clunky. They got to be a little more realistic. So how would you make that game work with dinosaurs that?
You make your character move faster.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It seems like a game that would be hard to bring into the current day and have it still kind of work as like it did back in the day. But I still would love to see it. I've wanted one for years, man.
Well, they've redone Perfect Dark, so anything is possible.
Well, you guys all ask for Dino Crisis, but even before that, I would like to have a Mega Man in the vein of either Ratchet and Clank or Jak and Daxter. I think that would work well.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing with Capcom, and I remember watching the interview about this because an interviewer was asking, like, how do they decide what to remake? And apparently all their directors get together once a year and they figure out, all right, so what do we want to, which team that's now free from whatever game they just did, what project do we want to put them on next? And they just kind of vote on it and make that decision there. And I think that the reason why we see stuff like people ask for Code Veronica, people ask for Dino Crisis, and a lot of those have been like not the ones at the forefront, because when Capcom decided, let's remake all of our older games but do some really quality remakes, that like stuff like Resident Evil 2, 3, 4 were all like more popular choices to remake before the rest of the stuff. So it's just
right. They totally revamped those. Right. They revamped them all the way.
Yeah. And so I think they'll get to them eventually. It's just that they got to get through the other ones that they're raring to do more before they get to that. So
yeah, because when that leak came out about when they got their data stolen, and Dreamcast guy went down the list, and technically the a Power Stones is supposed to be released this year, but nice. Where's the Power Stones, or at least talk about it or something.
Okay, so
if that's something that's actually going to happen, then this year, then they're probably going to talk about it on Monday when they do their little showcase thing, right?
No, who's doing the showcase? Is it Capcom or is it Ubisoft?
I thought it was Capcom.
Capcom.
Ubisoft already did theirs.
Yeah, that's what I thought they did. Yeah. So. But
Power Stones would be hot, and that people would pick that up.
Okay, so you say Power Stone would be hot, but Power Stone was the first of that type of genre of fighter when it first came out on the Xbox, well, not on
Dreamcast. Then it
came to
then it came to PlayStation Portable, the portable one they had later. That's the only place it's been.
Do you think, apart from nostalgia, would it garner as much success as it did in the past? I mean, I don't know, like, how many people would be compelled to play Power Stone, given that there are other games out there out like that, like Multiverses and.
But Power Stones is a different type of game. It's totally different. I mean, for your Xbox people that converted over from Dreamcast, yeah, you'll have a lot of people to go over there and get it. But once people start
have like a isometric arena,
when you say a lot,
right?
What
correct.
are you thinking is a lot? I mean,
Okay, don't start that again, Paul. Don't start that again.
No, you see, I don't get. I'm sorry. I like some of the retro stuff too, but to sit there and always say they need to do this, this will be a winner, it'll hit big. We are not the target audience.
It's not gonna hit big like that, like you think. You like games that people don't like, but there are some people that like certain games.
I'm not coming at it from that. I'm coming at it from a statistical standpoint of saying, what do you think it's gonna do? 20,000, 50,000, 100,000? What do you?
The answer realistically is if it looks like a good game or a compelling game or something that is going to be fun. who knows how many copies they can sell. It's
no,
weird
no,
because
they
we have
they
and
have
if they
guys
make
in
it
their office that ask
online,
the question I'm asking, dude. They don't
Right,
go,
no,
well, if it's good, it'll be good.
I understand,
Yeah.
Paul, but we also have new IP that have nothing, right? We have existing IP that has maybe some following. You have new IP that has no following, and that new IP has to sell itself with
Because my thing
money
is,
that
if
you
it was
sell
limited to Dreamcast and PlayStation Portable, you're looking at a pretty limited audience that is gonna, as far as the nostalgia background side is gonna go, that's gonna go, oh, I remember that. Because
and that's what I'm saying. So like if you're saying that the audience is small, that means the game has to sort of, from the gameplay mechanic, allure new players. And I don't know if Power Stone has that ability to lure as many new players as they're hoping it would. Now,
but we're in
do
a
I
new
like the
age
game? I do
too,
like the
Wize.
game. Don't get me
We're in a
wrong,
new
but I
age
just don't know
too,
if it's
Wize.
what now.
We're in an age where you have streamers that can push the game out. We're at a new age where word of mouth can push it out. The game has an online infrastructure, and the game is good. Word of mouth would push this game out.
All right. Before we keep going, let me introduce my other two panelists. Cozy,
trouble.
my darling. I missed you last week. How you been doing?
Pretty good.
That's good to hear. How's your week's been going, and what you been playing?
I haven't really been playing much of anything. I play like one session of Brotato, and then I have to really, school starts in like a month and a half.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me that shit.
I got stuff to do.
Yeah, I got to go through hell and back.
birds are pissed.
Yeah. Yeah, your parakeet doesn't like the fact that school's starting in a month and a half either, apparently. So, yeah. All right. I would ask Loke how he's been doing, but unfortunately, he freaking just
Loke isn't real.
Get off the fucking mental.
Get your ass back on the chair and tell us how your week's been going, what you've been doing, and what you've been playing.
I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Was it your favorite game ever?
No. No.
Did you have?
All I can say is it's a very good game, man.
Did you rub one out for the beach
good.
scene?
Okay, yeah, we got to know.
I think the beach scene is Rebirth, Cozy, not Remake.
Oh.
Okay, but
did you
still,
rub one out for Tifa?
Are you a Tifa guy or an Aerith guy?
Oh my god.
He didn't answer.
Neither one of them is a black woman with a big ass. So
God. Well, what is your
am I allowed to say that? Look, God, maybe if she spat on it, I might be able to.
Wow.
You want that hot tour action, huh?
The hot tour,
yeah. Before, if we're looking at just default settings, yeah, they're not really my thing. They're not for me. No. Not judging anyone that's not into it. That's into it, but for me, it's not my thing.
So Barrett is more your speed, right?
I'm straight.
He didn't want to say anything. So what are you going to be playing next after Remake? Are you going to go straight to Rebirth, or are you going to pivot to something else?
I'm actually currently playing through what's it? Yuffie's missions. The chick.
The integrate stuff. Yeah.
The bonus missions that you get.
Yeah, intermission. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I'm doing Yuffie's missions first, and then I'm going to Rebirth.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because considering they introduced the new mechanic in combat with the synergy system and intermission, and then you also, I mean, it's not like fully relevant to Rebirth, but then it does make a little bit more sense when they introduce her in Rebirth. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go ahead and move on to the next topic here. Let's talk about what Mr. Guillemot said. He said that from Ubisoft, he said that there are multiple Assassin's Creed remakes in development.
What's
Anyone
his name?
have any thoughts on this? Go ahead.
His name is something Frenchy.
What's his name again?
Frenchy. Oh my god.
Yeah, Frenchy.
Let him speak.
Guillemot?
Let the man.
Guillemot, I guess, is that how you pronounce his name? Guillemot? Okay, go ahead and educate me.
You talking about Yves Gilmore? Guillemot?
That word.
The dickhead CEO of Ubisoft.
Frenchie baguette.
He's a garbage human being. Him and his entire family.
Yo.
You know, I say that respectfully.
What? Have you heard the stories about what they do to female employees that complain? Have you heard the stories of what they do?
Oh yeah, I've heard directly from Ubisoft and ex-Ubisoft employees, of course, about the shenanigans that go on at their studios. Yeah,
it is wild.
And it happens. It happens because they've been empowered by leadership. You know, when you do certain things, if you sexually harass a woman, if you say a racist joke directly in front of like minorities and look them in the face like you ain't gonna laugh N-word, right? Like if you act like that and then you get reported, and then instead of you getting reprimanded or fired, the person that reports you gets reprimanded or fired, then of course they could be like, oh, it's all good. I could be as racist, as sexist, and disgusting as I possibly want to be. Excellent. Let me go back to work and slap some cheeks. You know, it's just gonna keep doing it.
If you bother enough women in one office, they'll just do the Catholic Church thing. They'll move you to the next office. They won't fire you. They'll just move you to another office in another location. It is wild at Ubisoft. But let's talk about inclusion and Yasuke. Let's do that.
Well, they're making multiple remakes for Assassin's Creed. I don't know who's asking for this, but apparently they're doing it. We do want a new Beyond Good and Evil whenever you get around to it. If you guys want to actually make a game that we really want to play, but yeah.
Yeah, you know, like that killer trailer we saw several years ago that looked amazing.
Yeah, but you know, when I saw that trailer, I'm like, even back then I was like, there's no fucking way they're going to be able to implement that game mechanic with that hardware. I don't even think they can implement that game mechanic with this current hardware where you are like on ground level, then you can zoom out and fly around and go into different I don't know.
You don't know anything about anything.
I don't know anything about anything. Yeah. That is true, but unfortunately, I am hosting this shit, so apparently, so I gotta go ahead and wave my shit around there. There you go.
Now, if they're doing these remakes of these old Assassin's Creed games, this is going to be in the old school Assassin's Creed game design where it's all stealth and you know you gotta hide in bushes and wait for the guard to walk by and come out.
Those missions, man.
Right, because that's old school Assassin's Creed. Or is it more the open world RPG-ish kind of AC Origins and Odyssey and all those?
I will say, from my point of view, with having just finished Mirage, Mirage is a good mix of both. Mirage had a little bit of that stealthy stuff that'll drive you crazy. The follow these people and stay close enough to hear what they're saying crap, but you know, or don't get spotted crap. Because for the most part, the eavesdropping ones where you could find a place by them and sit, you were good. But yeah, they were. This was a lot easier than the earlier games, which were just stupid with that. You know. I think if they bring especially the first one and the second one up to the style that Mirage was, I think it'll work because they got to tweak the controls a little bit too. You know, because the controls, the fighting controls on Mirage, you remember what it was, right? Mm-hmm. R bumper, hold R bumper. That was it. That's the whole. And the only thing I don't like is the whole pull the trigger, hit X or A or Y to throw something, because it seemed like that wasn't real snappy. It was like, okay, I'm in the middle of it. Oh, I got hit. Never mind. It's not going to happen. I'm going to die now. You know, it's like, oh, and the one control that really sucks is if you time it just right, you can run toward them and jump over and be at their back and attack them. Yeah, that never works for me. Seriously. So, but luckily I have a contact with the Assassin's Creed Red. I actually have his email address and all that crap, and they're going to get me in touch with their accessibility.
So you're a stalker.
I know we did an interview with him.
Just say yes, Paul. Stop lying.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
how many race jokes did he say, you know, off camera during these interviews? You know, like, give me a ballpark, like 3 or 4.
Well, he was asking about the whole temporary restraining order across countries. I said I don't know how that
works. I might have to leave France very quickly. Can you tell me which countries don't have any extradition?
Look, stop bringing politics into this show. This is a gaming show, man. Damn.
It's a show?
but-
Shit,
but
I didn't
no,
know
he
it
was
was a
Not
show.
politics.
Okay.
It's real life.
Yeah, he
It's
was
real life,
He
not
actually,
politics.
he's one of the associate
All right?
producers. He's
If
really
you want me
a
to
cool guy.
bring up old white men standing on podiums, we can do that as well.
Yeah, we saw that
Stop
shit
talking
last
about Wize like that, bro.
Oh!
I ain't white.
Get him.
All right.
Get him, Sir X-Men. Get him.
All right.
I
listen.
love everybody
no,
here. 'cause
No,
y'all-
you don't.
but-
Nobody fucking likes you
guys
either.
are
so-
mess.
Wow. Wow.
With Mirage coming out, I can see why they're doing these remakes. It'll be interesting to see, or remake. They haven't even really said which ones they're gonna do.
But logically, they would have to do the first couple of them, right? Why would they need an Odyssey Why would Odyssey or
Well, they
even
would need.
Origins
I
need a
think
remake?
everything
No.
from Black Flag on back could handle an update.
But probably the most popular ones of the older ones. For example, like, I mean, even though I think Boo Boo Team, I call them Boo Boo Team, but they're Bloober
Yeah.
Team. I call them Boo Boo Team because they suck. But like Konami got Boo Boo Team doing Silent Hill 2 and not Silent Hill 1 because Silent Hill 2 was more popular.
Right.
And Capcom started with Resident Evil 2 instead of Resident Evil 1 because everyone loved Resident Evil 2 and Nemesis and all that. So like I can see them going with, say, I think I heard Assassin's Creed 2
You're right.
was considered way more popular than
It
Assassin's
is.
Creed
Yeah,
1.
it is.
Yeah.
So I
it's
can
my
see them
favorite.
starting with 2 just because they expect you when they do a remake, they expect you to kind of like, well, you played this before, or at least for the majority of the audience that's going to play it. Hey, you already played this, so you know the story. We just going to make it better. and
Okay,
bring it
I
back.
gotta say that. I gotta say something slow mo and everybody else in here. Screw remaking Assassin's Creeds again. Remake a Rainbow Six Vegas, a Rainbow Six Black. Remake those games.
I
Rainbow
feel you.
Black
Splinter
in the
Cell.
old Rainbow Six style. Don't give me that seed stuff. Don't give me that
Sir
stuff.
X-Man, I feel
the-
you.
the
I'm gonna tell you
problem is
why
that-
they're not doing. Then they're not going to do that.
Rainbow
Money.
Six has evolved, and
Money.
it makes way too much money now. And with the
Exactly.
current
Assassin's Creed prints money. Rainbow Six does not print money in the old style. I love that old style. I remember playing it. I would play that every day of the week. But you and I, it's going to be you and me and like 20 other people playing it.
Oh yeah, I
They-
can get a room.
they
at
would
Rainbow Six
rather-
Vegas in a heartbeat, dude.
Look, they would rather make another Assassin's Creed that's going to sell, be like a top 10 seller, whatever year it comes out. It's going to be the top 10 sold game to come out that year. They make an old school Rainbow Six, it's not going to chart in the top 50. So they ain't going to do it. It's the numbers. We not as plentiful as we used to be.
Aren't they making good money with Siege?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Siege is I mean, this is like a technical
Yeah,
hero
tournament.
shooter.
They
It's like
have-
a hero shooter, to a degree. So it's not like old school Rainbow Six where you plan the op and you go in and you can just headshot everybody, get
What
the
about
hostage
Rainbow
out.
Seven?
Right. I love Rainbow Six Vegas. My point is that like Rainbow Six Siege is making them, I would say, a good amount of money.
It
So I
is.
don't
Yep.
see why
Well, you know,
they would
it's-
go and make a remake of a version of Rainbow Six that's not going to be the live service game that they currently
Right.
have.
No, but they should bring on at least one style in that style genre as a test bed, just to see if
Just make
people
a
are
short single
interested.
player game.
Look, you old young lady.
All right. Let's pivot off of that topic and let's move on to some of the stuff that came out for Xbox this week. First thing, Brad Sam showed this. Apparently, I don't know if this is technically a new dashboard, but they were showing this on an autonomous vehicle that you can play Xbox games to a certain ilk using this dashboard.
Is that the one that's made by Remac?
Yeah, the Remac one. Some people are saying that this could be like potentially their dashboard for any handheld offering that they may have, either, in-house making a handheld or, just making an app for like the Steam Deck or some shit like that.
I mean,
So-
if it has those proportions, maybe. I mean, this seems like it's tailor-made for that proportion of a display.
Yeah.
It almost looks like the one that I have in that Xbox Game Pass app.
It reminds me of the blades from the 360 era.
Right.
I used to love
I've
those
used
blades.
the blades, yeah.
Yeah, I miss the blades. I think the blades were one of the best UIs I've seen thus far. I mean,
It was
I
so
know they were
easy.
clunky in today's society, but I think
Yeah,
they were,
it
there's
was
something
it
about
was
that.
just very easy to find whatever you were looking for. Now there's so many menus within menus, and some things are counterintuitive when you're trying to find certain things. That I thought the blades was very, very easy to find stuff.
Then you gotta pin all your favorites down on the bottom, and then
You don't gotta.
go to look here. I want quick and
It's
easy
really not
access.
that hard. It's really not that hard. But I
They,
know
they got a pill for that, Paul.
Okay, I'm gonna leave now.
No, you're not.
No, you're-
No, you're not. Stay your ass here.
Listen, just
I don't.
let's not bring up his ED
I
and
don't
continue
need-
the conversation.
Okay, I don't really. Seriously, I don't. Never.
Okay,
I'm
no, Paul.
gonna
What do you
figure it
think of
out.
this? Okay, first of all seriousness, what is this? Just a like? It doesn't seem like a.
Well, what it is with this? I was gonna say they could actually put this because one of their things they've been trying to do is they want all of the desktops and whatever to look the same, so that you can easily migrate from one to the other and not be lost on one but not on the other. So if this is that, they will probably do the same thing with the dashboard on the console. They will probably do the same thing with the dashboard on all the apps. You know,
So you're talking like an Xbox.
app.
You're talking like an Xbox OS, like
Right.
a simplified version of Windows that kind of cuts out all the clutter that a
Right.
gamer who isn't really interested in, like, you know, the office centric
universal-
kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, universal template.
Yeah. And then they could take that Xbox OS and then say give it to who else does Windows PC handhelds? Asus.
Asus but they can also do it on
yeah.
like the Fire Stick app. and they can
Oculus,
do it on all
Oculus.
on the Oculus app that they've been talking about. That's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that is a look that will work on all of those platforms. And like I said, one of the things they've always kind of been like, they want it so that somebody who's not like me, who can basically go from desktop to laptop to whatever and figure out what I'm doing, they want this to be, okay, this looks just the same as the one I just left on the big screen. Okay, I know exactly where I'm going. Boom, boom, boom. You know.
Yeah, and I think that's a good idea. I think as long as and I think they even, you know, Sarah Bond talked about forward compatibility, bringing your library with you wherever you go. I think that's very important for them because they're kind of like not making the actual Xbox console as important as other platforms make their console as their focal point. So you want to make sure that if you're now migrating your players to, say, potentially however they want to do it, they want to stay on console, cool. Where they want to go to PC, they want to go to PC handhelds, that it all looks the same. That you need to make sure that their library goes there as well. But also I would say as a PC gamer, they need to make sure that Xbox app is working. Because good God, the Xbox app on PC is the worst thing ever.
As
But
somebody
I
who chats through his PC all the time, you're preaching to the choir. 'Cause
Yeah, it's terrible.
that is like,
But I can already play my console games on my phone anywhere I go, you know, because they do have a console stream that works with your phone internet. It works,
but not
anywhere.
all
I
your
use
games
it.
that you've purchased are available through that particular format. For example, like let's say if you want to
360,
play
a lot of 360 games aren't right.
Right, but even just
Even a lot of
Xbox
the
One
newer games
games as
aren't,
well. Like take like the Division 2, for example. You wanted to play the Division 2 on your Xbox, that's no problem. On cloud, it's not available through cloud, xCloud.
Well,
So-
I don't do it
Even
through
with
the cloud,
remote play?
though. I do it with yeah, that's what it's
You-
called,
you-
remote
you-
play.
well,
But I do
you're
use it. Go ahead, Paul.
going to say, well, you still kind of are using their cloud system even through those apps. So
Yeah, somewhat, but my console is on, like just like the PlayStation when you use your portal on the Wi-Fi. My console turns on when I'm not away from it, but the lights don't come on, but it's still active. So as long as I'm in the internet and I got somewhere else and I got to sign in or I use my phone data, it works. I don't have a problem with it.
Well, here's my problem with the whole situation. And I understand I understand the theory behind it. Okay. Like they're going to be on like, and we're going to talk about this in a couple of seconds. Samsung TVs, Fire Sticks, potentially autonomous vehicles, handhelds, etc. And they want all of their UIs to look the same. across all of those divisions. However, one of the biggest gripes I had, and I know this is petty, and I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback for this, but I think one of the negatives about the Series X launch was that the UI was exactly the same as the Xbox One X. And I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm an old school gamer that, whenever you buy a new console, the excitement of, starting it up and seeing the new UI, that's just something.
I'm tired of those menu updates. I am so tired of menu updates.
No need for menu changes. Menu changes are for primitive brains to feel like something's extra new.
I'm sorry, Wize, that is a strange hill to die on.
You know what? There was actually someone who made an. Remember, I remember it was like a Twitter post about someone had about like how there's no updates to camera. If you have a DSLR, they're virtually all the same and have been for decades, and it's because it works. We all know, like, you can get any brand and pretty much figure out where the functions are, and that's what we like. No one needs to
I totally understand. I understand the motivation behind it. I just am speaking from my own personal experience that, like, I personally like when I fire up a new console to see a new
I'm the same way. Like, you bought the new thing, you want it to feel new all around, and when you boot it up and it feels like the Xbox One, again, it's not a big deal, but it's like
it's not like
it's like the other thing, yeah.
But the wild thing is that they kept the UI the same going from Xbox One to Xbox Series, but then the DVR functions broke. So it wasn't even the same. It was like it looked the same, but it performed worse because you couldn't do the things that you did on the previous console.
How long have we been saying, even when I used to come on with you sometimes, they need to fix the DVR functionality.
Yeah.
But they just haven't even focused on that.
Well, you can't still stream. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I could be wrong. You can't stream from your Xbox like you can for your PlayStation. Can you not?
I haven't done that on Xbox Series in a while.
Like stream.
Are you talking about like Twitch streaming or something?
You can stream to Twitch. I've never done it, but I know I've done it.
Yeah,
I have. It works fine.
Yeah, you have to start the game and then go to the Twitch app and then kick back and yeah.
Is it only for Twitch or is it for?
You don't know the app anymore, I believe.
They did it for Discord too.
Not yet.
Well, Discord's even worse because you can't actually. It's like obnoxious.
Yeah. Well, what you have to do is you basically have to set up your stream before you start the game, and then you can pop into the Xbox menu real quick and tell it, okay, start streaming. But yeah, it's an easy setup once you know how to do it.
Then you have to title it and everything and put
what I really wish they would change. I don't understand why they did it this way. Is when you want to share clips with your friends, it has to first upload the clip to the Xbox server, and then you send them a fucking link. It sends a URL link to your
the OneDrive link. Yeah.
Like on the PS5, you have the clip. And you send it to your friend. It's almost like sending a text message. Like it's so much easier. I don't understand why it's all these extra steps on the Xbox side. That's one of the only things I don't really like about that.
But why is that? Why do they have all that convolutions?
Because they want you to buy the extra space for OneDrive.
What are you talking about? Stop.
Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead. You have something to say about
part of it was, remember, it used to be we could do it directly to Twitter or whatever.
Right.
We can't do that anymore. That's on Twitter, by the way. That's not on Microsoft. Twitter started charging for their UPIs, and Microsoft was the first one to go, yeah, we ain't paying you that many $1,000 a month to do this shit.
Yep, they said hell to them now. They did.
You can't on PlayStation either anymore.
And yes,
PlayStation.
PlayStation stopped that too. Damn.
Everyone did.
Yeah, PlayStation and Nintendo
Thank you, Elon.
recently shut theirs down. Yeah.
Wait, so if you send a clip, are you talking about when you send one on the Xbox?
You can send it to your drive, and then you can send it to your contacts.
Yeah, like I can't send you the clip natively. Like it has to first upload the clip to a server, and then I send you a URL link to view the clip. Like it's again, I don't understand.
Or you can send it to your phone. You can send the clip to your phone on the Xbox, and then send it anywhere you want.
Wait, does it automatically go to your?
No, you have to tell it to go to your phone. But your phone number has to be registered.
I know. I mean,
hang on. It goes first thing it does. It automatically, unless you've turned it off, it automatically goes to the Xbox network.
Okay.
By default.
Yes.
So
that's
and then
what I
from
guess I
there
was
you
confused
can-
because I used to always just do it from my phone.
Right.
Yeah, I would send it to my phone.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
so
wish
you
they
don't
had
have to send
seamless
it to your
experience
phone.
like PlayStation does. You know,
You don't
I
have to
just
send
wish
it
they
to
had
your
more seamless
phone. It just
experience.
shows up in the Xbox app on your
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah.
But you
You
know
don't have to press it.
how bad the quality is when you send it to your phone. Then if you send it to OneDrive, it's not as good. as
No,
sending it
it's
to your
fine.
phone.
It's fine if you just upload, if it's just on the app. Like I never have issues. In fact, the quality is better than if you do it on the Xbox. If you do it, so I always just did it from the app.
No, it sends it direct. No, it sends it directly to my phone. It
Oh
sends
well,
it
no,
in a
then
clip.
why?
By the way,
there's an option. There's a mobile
quality is the
option,
same.
but
The quality is the same because you set the quality in your settings for your share.
Yeah. So just use. I just use the Xbox app, and that way I can just send it wherever to whatever application.
No, I send it directly from my Xbox. So, the minute the clip comes, then you go look into it and it says where you want to send it. And I say send it to my phone.
If you have the Xbox app, you don't have to send it to your phone.
Well, anyhow, let's go ahead and talk about the next thing in the Xbox.
Hold on,
Game
I
Discord.
want to talk about this.
Go ahead. You said no. I got your message. They'd be right back. I don't know if you're back.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't want to talk down to anybody, but I don't do that shit. Like as a content creator, I always capture everything.
Yeah.
Through my PC. I go through it with Power Director. I clean it up. And yes, I do pay for a lot of OneDrive space. I do pay for a lot of creative cloud space with Adobe because as a content creator, I need that space to transfer screenshots, thumbnails, anything I'm working on, whether I'm at home on my PC or whether I'm on the go with my laptop. I always have access to it with those. So I guess I don't feel your guys' pain because that's not how I share stuff.
Bob, I need you to say that with your pinky up. So can you just kind of do that with your pinky? There we go. Thank you.
I actually understand what you're saying. I was confused because sending it to your phone seems like an extra step.
I just got a message from Xbox. They're mad at me now.
But look, I do that too. Like I'm a PC gamer primarily, but like if I'm recording anything off of like PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series, I got OBS open. I got I got a capture card pushing everything through.
And all I gotta do is tap record.
Yeah, all I gotta do is just hit a button, and I'm getting like the very best recording quality because I got a NVIDIA GPU and I got a nice PC. I do that on PC games as well. I just use the NVIDIA app recording, which is almost lossless level of quality, and it looks exactly like how the game looked when I played it. It's just that like at 60 FPS if I don't turn on the 120 hertz frame option. So it's just
a cool thing about the NVIDIA, the 4080s and up, they don't have just one video engine in them. They have two video engines, so you could be doing two things at the same time. Like I'll try and launch my podcast through OBS while I'm still trying to render the gameplay at a lower bit rate that I just captured, so that I don't overload my upload, so that it is smooth. And it was incredibly hard before I got the 4080 Super. Now I can do both seamlessly. I can launch a podcast with one video engine while I'm rendering with another one, and it's flawless. So,
anyone else want to do any dick waving with their PC build?
Jesus, really?
My PC's okay.
I've got a piece of shit that barely runs. I'm proud of it. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah.
I play windowed.
No, it's like, between I'm listening to Slow-Mo and I'm listening to KY, and it reminds me of back in elementary school. Like, mine's is bigger than yours. Mine's is bigger.
My dad can beat your dad.
Exactly.
Hey,
I like to play my games windowed at 30 frames.
I got a 3060 Ti. I'm happy. I'm good.
Look, I'll just say this, and I always say this to just everybody, even my co-host Forte, who's now upgraded. But look, if you don't like what you're getting from a console, and they haven't because it took them a while to get the whole process of the DVR recording stuff straight with Xbox, right? Like back in 2020, it wasn't as seamless as it is now. Just have it come to your phone. It was all kinds of tomfoolery going on. You don't like none of that nonsense. You just want things the way you want it. build yourself a PC. I mean, even though like what Bob was talking about, like what you can do with a 4080 or stronger, you could have like someone said they got a 3060 Ti. You could have that and be dealing with far better tools with NVIDIA than you're getting from PlayStation or Xbox.
I upgraded. I was running an EVGA 3060 Ti before I upgraded to the 4080 Super. And to be honest with you, I was playing games with 3060 Ti just fine. But the noise from the fans, because they had to run so fast to keep the card would do it at 60 frames with ray tracing and stuff, but it was so loud that's why I said, okay, I just got to bump this up so that it's back to being quiet.
Well, I don't like ray tracing. It doesn't appeal to me, and I don't see that much of a variance. I mean, just for me.
Well, I mean, you got that dollar store. You got that Dollar General ray tracing on consoles. You got AMD ray tracing.
Oh, I know.
Ray tracing anything. They haven't seen real ray tracing yet. Like Cyberpunk with ray trace overdrive on a
monitor has it built in and all that stuff. It doesn't work for me, and it draws too much power.
Sir X-Man. Your what got you have a monitor that has ray tracing built in?
That's not how that works.
Well, I'm not an expert here, but I don't think that's how it works, dude.
You know what I mean? I can implement ray tracing on my 4K monitor anytime I want.
No, you can't. It's not.
No, I don't.
But it's 4 frames.
I don't.
That is not how that works.
What GPU does your monitor have?
I wasn't saying. I didn't mean to say it like that.
My car can fly. I can fly with my car anytime I want. No, I can't. I can't do that.
My monitor was free $99 for my old job.
Doc Brown proved that a car can fly. Okay.
And, even in the PC space, AMD, whenever you enable ray tracing, even in the PC space, it cripples the card.
It tanks it. Even their very best card. Their very best card is a 7900 XTX. You turn on ray tracing, and it's like it's under 30 frames per second.
I don't know. I always play
worth the horsepower.
I always play on low settings, so I don't ever have to close Sims.
Sims don't take that much power.
Sims will choke your computer if you never close it.
Sims are very CPU heavy.
Yeah, so I can't do
stupid heavy, actually. Yeah.
I run it with all the packs.
I got a 3-year-old MacBook Pro.
Dude, it's impossible to crash a Mac. I mean, they may be sweating and ready to die, but you will not crash.
Macs are made like Tonka
It used to actually get just too hot and then just be like, nope. But I also, I was doing too much.
Mine had a battery expansion. Like I can't charge it anymore, so it has to be plugged into power.
Wow.
Just get a new one.
Well, Real Gamer Reincarnate says, I'll dick wave. Mine is a 7800 times 3D-4090. So there you go.
Nice. It just flopped it on the table. That's what's up.
He's like, he just pulled it out. There you go.
What do you think of that?
Domino, goddamn it.
I know. I guess I only upgrade when I absolutely need to.
Well, if I am gonna upgrade, I'm not gonna buy a 40 series.
No, he's gonna get a new monitor so he can do
No. I'm gonna do like I used to do. I'm gonna get a 3090 or a 3080, and I'm gonna run them SLI like I used to do the older cards. Because those
SLI doesn't do. Yeah.
Look,
my
penis
SLI
flexing for you though. Everyone else is penis flexing. Might as well be you. What about you?
I'm not flexing.
No, it's not. He doesn't know. He doesn't know.
The 2080 card was the last card to use SLI.
Yep.
Correct?
I don't. I just
the 3090 can run. The 3090 can run SLI just like the 4090. They can run SLI. They have SLI. They have SLI plugins. Yeah, y'all didn't know that.
I just need a good CPU and a lot of RAM because I don't like closing anything.
People don't use SLI anymore. I like SLI.
All right. I don't know what even SLI means, but go ahead.
That means you can bridge two graphic cards together.
Oh, okay. Cool. No, I mean, like, I want to get one of these things, 4090, but I just don't. I know I'm never going to use it. Like I'm not a PC player.
Then stick to your MacBook.
Well, you know, the only reason I need a MacBook is to stream. So I mean, I'm okay with that. So and I
What?
can do that.
I'm gonna tell you something.
You get a
right?
MacBook to stream?
Once you use PC and see the functionality of all the games and how great they look on PC,
He won't.
I mean, but that's not true for everyone. Some people just like something that they don't care about. They just want.
Now, wait a minute. How come when we tell you that, Cozy, you bark at it? You're like, everybody gonna go to PC. That's where everybody should be.
Because you're old. Old people like old things like consoles.
Hey, wait a minute.
You know, I've been using PCs and being a tech on PC since before you were born.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. Before he was a ninja, he was a PC expert. So there you go.
He was a pro.
All right. Apparently the Keystone got leaked. So there you go. Apparently there was
leaked.
There you go. There it is. It's a yay.
It's a Walkman.
It looks like know what it looked like? A Dreamcast.
It does. No, it reminds me of the original PlayStation. Remember, it looks sort of like
a little bit smaller. Yeah, without the buttons.
Just like a GameCube, if somebody had stepped on it, squashed it down to half its height.
They made it wider.
I don't know. I wonder why this thing didn't come into fruition. I wonder how much this thing was costing them.
They already said it would have
the
cost
Series S, and they chopped some of it off.
Yeah, basically, it looks like a Series X was part of it removed, basically. So, I don't know. I think it's a good idea that they did not do this because, as I was talking about on your show last night, KY, that I fundamentally believe that one of the main problems that Xbox has is showing their games in the best possible light, especially when they show it for the first time. Oh my God. Okay, well, we're
not even going to go there. No,
I'm not even.
Do you not see Cerebral like eyeing you down right about now?
Just copium. God damn.
I mean,
that is embarrassing.
There's a whole lot of people that I would fuck with, Cozy, but Cerebral right about now, he even got his hair chopped off. Don't taunt this guy.
I'm not liking the new look. I liked it when
that man's on wheels. He'll run you over.
Exactly. There you go.
I'm looking forward to it. I don't want to pay taxes.
Oh my God!
I didn't say it would kill you. Just said it would hurt.
Curses.
All right. So something else that came out today actually was that Xbox is going to be on Amazon Stick or Amazon Fire Sticks and stuff like that. So
that's a good move. That's a good move. That's a good move. That's a very good move.
Why?
Because it gives them more spaces to put it out. The consoles aren't going anywhere. Why do people keep thinking consoles are going nowhere? People still want to put their butts in couches and chairs in front of a TV. Consoles not going nowhere. Nobody's console is going nowhere.
Look. What did you say?
Nothing will never replace local hardware.
Never.
Muscle.
No.
Never,
Listen.
ever.
No. Loke had it best. Loke had this statement of the podcast. What did you say?
It's fine. I'm not trying to start.
No, go.
Nah, don't be scared. Nah, you said it. Put it out there.
No.
I said no one wants the Xbox console.
No, he said that. No, he's Sir X-Men. You said consoles ain't going anywhere. He said no, the Xbox console ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. People still want to.
If you look at the narrative that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Bob. Go ahead,
Bob. The narrative
that's
been driven.
Really, they want to be casual with it.
Go ahead.
The narrative that's been driven this whole time that on Sony's side is console sales. And Xbox has never once focused on console sales.
Nope.
Xbox has focused on how many people we have playing. That's what they've always done.
In our environment.
And that number... Right, in our ecosystem. And if you go by the Fire TV sticks out there right now, not saying everybody or even half of them, not even a quarter of them are probably going to use it. But there are 230 million Fire Sticks registered and paid for right now.
But Bob, there's not 230 million of the 2023 Fire Sticks out there because those are the only ones that are compatible for this Xbox app.
The
I have
updated
one for
version,
my mom,
right?
and it's slow
Yeah.
as shit. It's the old version. It's not gonna run it.
Yeah, I got an old Fire Stick from 5 years ago that
Yeah.
can barely run Netflix.
No,
like
it's not
that's
gonna
not
run.
that's not working. So, and I'm one of the 230 million people that got a Fire Stick,
No.
but it's the 2023 4K Fire Sticks that are the ones that are
okay.
doing it. So it's like that
Right. So
that number's a little
Would you-
misleading.
yes, it is a little misleading, but it does give you an idea of who's more apt to get the 2023 Fire Stick. Somebody who already
And it's
has
only
a Fire
$40.
Stick that's looking for an upgrade, or somebody who's never had one, has a smart TV and doesn't see a need for it.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point with it. It's just the target demographic of that. Like, we're not it. Like the 9 people in here, that's not going to be the primary way that we're going to play these games. So you're kind of looking at like, what games would someone who's going to get this play? And you're looking at like potentially like stuff like Minecraft, stuff that isn't like quick twitch. Like ain't nobody who's serious about Call of Duty playing Call of Duty through a Fire Stick. Like, you must be out your mind. Like, do you want to just get curb stomped? So it's just
birthday, and mom wanted to get him something, and here's a Fire Stick. I don't know.
You know what? If you're next,
he don't want that.
Don't be
If you're
surprised.
gonna play something cloud based, you're gonna want to. If you're that kind of gamer, probably gonna want to be mobile. You want to have like a handheld or off your phone, like to be stuck on a TV.
I prefer playing cloud.
Hey, we're stuck on the TV now, slow mo with our console. Come on.
Yeah, I prefer playing on the cloud in all aspects. If I don't have to install a game, I don't.
Okay, but here's the thing. I have a little bit of pushback about this.
Wait, before you say that, let me speak
Go
to
ahead.
one of his things. So,
Mhm.
one of the audiences this would be good for though is, let's say you've got kids or you travel a lot, or hey, go plug this into the TV over there, and here's your controller. Go play some games. Leave me alone.
That disappeared for about 3 hours.
Yeah,
I'll call you when dinner's ready.
It definitely has an audience that will, we're going to grandma's here. You might be bored. Go plug this into the TV, and there you go.
Grandma, what's the Wi-Fi password?
Well,
Grandma, can you get off the phone so I can play on my online or something? So, not love.
Get off the dial-up, right?
But like it's been said, it's about getting on more screens, getting in front of more people, giving them more options of where to play.
Yeah,
that's all it really is.
Okay, well, you
I
say
get
that. Okay, now I get that, and I understand what they're saying. Okay, like one of the biggest problems that Xbox has right now is just people viewing their games, right? Because what can be argued is that they have the least amount of consoles being sold. So, of course, there are fewer people looking at their games. And Xbox is trying to do whatever they can in their power to get their games out there. And the way they do that is by putting their Xbox app on, Samsung TVs, Fire Sticks, and whatever else, right?
Your phone.
Yeah, I mean, and I get it, right? They don't care. They're like, you want to play our game, you want to pay $70 for our game and play it on PlayStation? Good, play our game. If you want to play it on Xbox and buy an Xbox console and then buy the game, play our game. You want to pay $15 a month and get access to the game? Good, play our game. You want to play it on PC? Play our game. Right.
If you want to play it in a robo-taxi while you're on your way to your destination, here you go.
Yeah,
I want to do that.
But the problem I'm having with this is this. There are a lot of people who just have heard about the rumblings about Xbox, right? Like whether that's positive or negative, they're like, okay, let me just see it. And sometimes their first exposure to Xbox games will be through either like these apps, right? Like they don't want to go in and invest $500 on a console when they don't even know what they're going to be getting. So they're going to try it out as far. It's almost like a gateway drug, right? However,
a cheap way of a sample. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, but the problem is that you do not get a second chance to make a first impression. And the problem with these Fire Sticks and just streaming games in general, your game is not going to be shown in the best light. And what I'm afraid of is that if somebody's going to play it for the first time and say, oh, now I see why people don't care for Xbox because this game is laggy or anything. Not Xbox's fault. Not Xbox's fault. It's just the inherent nature of the network and streaming games and everything like that. You and I understand that. Everyone on this panel understands that. But if you're talking about a casual person just looking at it like, I don't want to play this game. I don't want to play Xbox. I can see where this can backfire on them. And
Well,
That
you've
same casual is
seen-
not going to be so nitpicky about quality as we are either, though.
The rumor that came out this morning is that it appears that NVIDIA GeForce Now is going to be added to the Xbox ecosystem. If
Yep.
that's true, if this happens, then
That'd be
you will
awesome.
you will see the problems with xCloud
Go away.
Well, that's already there. Wait, hold on. You mean what do you mean by adding GeForce Now to the ecosystem?
I thought it was already there.
Game
I thought it
Pass
was-
is already on GeForce Now. That's been like that for like maybe a year.
Correct.
That's different. You have to be using GeForce Now.
Oh, so you're getting GeForce Now through Game Pass, I guess,
Correct.
without actually
Are
having
you
to
trying
be on
say
GeForce
that-
Now.
They're
Are
going
you
to
trying
add
to say
that.
they're using their servers to run
gonna-
xCloud now?
They're going to add it to the ecosystem the way they've done Ubisoft Plus
okay.
and
Yeah.
EA Play.
Oh, okay. So you have to have Game Pass Ultimate, and then with that, then
yeah.
you can just have it. Okay, that's
You're
I'll be
going into
excited
the-
for that.
If
That
you
means
have
you're going into the GeForce Now servers if you've got Ultimate.
which
Right.
is way better quality than XCloud. Like,
So that's why they're really starting to look good now. Because I've been checking the stream periodically through my phone, checking out some games, and I was like, wait a minute, where did they start doing all these super improvements? It was running smooth. And I was on my my mobile internet. I was not on no Wi-Fi.
I actually find I have less problem on mobile than PC and Xbox, especially with Wi-Fi.
Dude, I don't know what that issue is either because I tried, like, I'll try and play xCloud through my mobile when I'm not at home, and it's decent. But
Yes,
when
I tried it on the bus and it was amazing. And
It
then
depends on the areas too. It depends on your area.
But then I get home and I'm in the other room and I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to walk back there. So I'll try and console stream to my mobile device over my Wi-Fi.
Yep.
It's horrible. And I'm like, what in the hell is going on here? I'm literally on the same network as my Xbox and it's shit.
Yeah, I find like the order of the way it works is the console wireless is the worst. Anything console wireless is the worst. Then console wired, then PC wireless, then PC wired, and mobile. Just straight mobile on its own seems to have the best, most consistent. Like the PC wired will be consistent, but when it hiccups bad.
Yeah.
But I mean, inherently there is a situation here, right? Like if I don't know. What doesn't it make if you're gonna have GeForce Now on Xbox? Doesn't it make xCloud kind of redundant in a way? Because GeForce Now is just a better implementation of cloud streaming. So
No, they're sharing the servers together. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
what do you mean? Can you clarify that? Like I don't understand.
Well, what happens is Microsoft uses GeForce Now servers, so they just teamed up with them for the oh my god!
Are you saying this because, are you saying
Right,
this because
thank you,
you
the
know it, or because you
implementation.
think it's how it works?
Right. Instead of you connecting directly to Azure data servers,
Correct.
you're going to be using the GeForce Now connection, which is much more refined, much more consistent, and has a better experience that is feeding. Because if you get one server farm feeding off another, and you're getting that content, it's going to be a lot better than you all by yourself feeding off that server farm.
Yeah, and everything still depends on how good your cellular data is, or how no matter where you play it, or your Wi-Fi, where you're at. Everything still depends on that. But if you got a strong, dedicated Wi-Fi or connection through the mobile, through your mobile app, oh my God. Yeah, I can't get
Are we
that
having
out.
problems talking today?
Yeah, I got a lot on my mind right now. That's all.
He was watching that Joe Biden speech. That's what's happening.
I don't want to talk about that. I knew you were gonna bring that up.
It's contagious. It's contagious. That's what
I saw the whole thing, but I'm not
I
talking
feel
about.
sorry for him.
So X-Man
you,
needs Medicare,
you caught
bro.
the whole thing, Sir X-Man. You didn't.
But
didn't
you
solve-
guys know my
tired.
point. Your mobile data might not have the strength depending on what area you're in. Say you're moving, driving somewhere.
Your vocabulary is not very
Would you please speak American English? Because I didn't understand what you said.
He speaks better than you do.
It's his Texas accent is really thick. It's hard to understand what he's saying.
But no, you guys know what I mean. It depends on your cellular provider on that part. So, you know, I mean, if it's a weak signal where you're at, you see the bars go up and down on your phone, and you're not near consistent Wi-Fi, it's not going to be the cloud server. It's going to be your server and how it pushes it out to you. That's always a problem. That's why Nova said he had a problem, you know, and I don't know why it should not be messing up on his home network. You know, that's another issue. That's it. I'm done.
Well, I mean, I was just like, as you guys were talking, looking up what they're actually saying with this, because I've heard about it, but I didn't look at it like too far into detail. But it just looks like if you have GeForce Now, then you can just access it through Xbox consoles. Is what it seems like, and it's all based off
we're
of
putting
pictures.
it there, right?
It's based off of pictures that people are seeing, where there's like there's a choice that you could play this through GeForce Now, which, I mean, like GeForce Now has got a lot of different storefronts involved, and they're all PC storefronts. So there's a lot of possibilities with that. I guess that there's a lot of speculation on what that might mean, but it also could mean that some PlayStation games that are available through Epic Game Store, Steam, launchers that Sony has allowed can now be played through an Xbox, not natively, but at least through GeForce Now, which frankly is the best cloud service you can get out there if you so choose to do so. It still won't be better than native. Nothing's better than native.
Never.
You know, it's still pretty good.
Yeah,
I guess it just sees. The thing is that, like, as you guys remember, when Nvidia first got started with GeForce Now, that first they were just like throwing everything on there with zero input from publishers who actually made those games, and they were not happy. They were like, "Whoa, what are you doing? We didn't allow that." And so then they had to like take games off and then work through deals to get those games on. If they start working with Xbox and putting GeForce Now on Xbox, where like I can imagine Sony looking at this and be like, "Hey, wait a minute.
Don't we own a percent of Epic? What the heck is going on?"
Yeah. And so then they might be like, "Okay, now we're taking our games back off GeForce Now because of this." So it's just like you never know how it might turn out, but it's it's a chess game, and I like the moves that they're making. It's just that you gotta also understand that your competition is going to make counter moves when you make those kind of moves too. So
and I hear that I've been hearing for the past 6 months that Amazon Luna actually runs pretty good, but nobody's talking about it.
That's because there's only 3 people on it. You know,
There's only 3 people.
So if you look at it, okay, I'll break this down kind of. It's going to sound philosophical, but this is a good analogy. If you look at the big news that we get, those are pages. But if you look at what's between the pages, then you see what's going on. Like, Microsoft was never trying to acquire Steam. I bet you it was negotiations with Microsoft to put a Steam store on a console and a handheld.
Oh, that's the best store that you can get.
Really stupid. Like, do you hear yourself?
So
that sounds like my dad heard someone say someone like that. Sounds like Microsoft.
But if you get that out of the way, then what do you go to next? You go to the service that has got a lot of those storefronts streaming through cloud, and that brings us to NVIDIA, the NVIDIA Go,
Now GeForce Now.
Yeah, GeForce Now. Yeah. So, they're just going down. They're taking each duck out in a row. So, I don't know.
It's always better to have your hands in all the pots. Like this idea of like, the master console is like a dated idea. Having your hand in as many pots as possible.
But do you think something
don't PC do that?
But no, let me push back a little bit here. You know, you're talking about Microsoft implementing GeForce Now and rumblings about, you know, having a Steam store either on console or whatever their handheld is or whatever, right? But do you think with all of this sort of embracing other platforms and other like for example, GeForce Now or the Steam store, do you think that sort of diminishes the actual value of the Xbox proprietorship, you know?
Of course it does. Yeah, it's
Yes, I
Yeah.
think it does. I think yes and no. I think I think it decreases the people who have reasons to play elsewhere, but increases, like for me personally, I mostly play on PC. The one reason I even have an Xbox is because of Play Anywhere. I've had instances where my PC got rained on. I needed a new part because I broke something.
Wait, what? Your PC got rained on?
Yeah, I don't know how to
I don't
figure
get that one.
out,
Okay.
How the hell did that happen?
It sits next to
game in the backyard.
It sits next to a window, and sometimes I kept the window open, and one day it was
That's
like,
dangerous.
I would
Yeah,
never
I live-
keep my PC. What is wrong with you, girl?
that wasn't even the worst time. The worst time was the time the cat got into it, because I keep the plate off.
Oh my god! You do
Well,
not.
Nate
You
says you
deserve
ain't got
a
no choice
console
when you're
where
getting destroyed.
everything. You deserve. You need a console where everything's closed up. You do not need a PC.
Honestly,
You do not know how to take care of a PC.
I mean,
You are one of those, Cozy.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right?
that's
Like,
the
okay,
thing. My PCs are cheap.
so basically,
I
That
just
doesn't
get a
mean you
new
should still be
pieces and put them back in.
careless. That doesn't. You should be careless with them.
my thing is this. Okay, if you're going to allow Steam and you're going to allow GeForce Now, like, what are we buying when we buy your console? Are we just buying a stripped down PC?
Yeah.
That's what all these
Always has been.
are stripped out PCs.
They're moving towards being a service, aren't they? Like, isn't that kind of what we've all kind of assumed, is that Xbox is moving towards being more of a service than a physical thing? You know, not to say that they're not going to make consoles or handhelds or things like that, but they care less about that and more about being the service that's going to be on all your devices anywhere you go, where they can get you into the ecosystem without having to do anything. And just like with the Fire Sticks, it's a net positive for them, regardless of how many new users it brings into the ecosystem, because they didn't have to develop, manufacture, ship, nothing.
Less work. It is less work.
No, but it's also their motto. We want people to play anywhere on devices where they want to play. If you want to play on a console, you can play on a console. If you want to play on PC, you can play on PC. If you want to play on your TV with a streaming device, you can play there. If you want to play anywhere, and because you're giving people the ability to play anywhere and whatever they want to, that's money no matter what you do against Microsoft. That's still money for them and their ecosystem.
But okay, that might be the case.
And
but
the attention, really, like, because there's but so much time everyone has for any game.
Okay, Slobo, I want to go to you on this. You said when I asked the question initially, you chimed in and said, yeah, of course it cheapens or it lessens the value proposition. So
it lessens the Xbox console, because the more places you're able to put games, the less need for the console is there. If you own a PlayStation and a Nintendo Switch, and then you see Hi-Fi Rush, for example, and you're like, man, that game looks actually really good. Like, but then you see that Hi-Fi Rush is going to the platforms you already own. Then you're just like, well, I don't need an Xbox for these kind of games. And the more you do that, the more you put your games in other platforms, the less incentive someone who, even if they enjoy those games, are going to say, well, I need an Xbox for that. And I do think they understand that. And the reason why I feel like they have allowed this to happen and understand that is simply because the console wasn't selling. And so at this point, it's just like, after ABK, there are people at Xbox, it's not specifically Xbox, but Microsoft, they're like, yeah, we want our money back, bro. Like, we just spent about $70 billion trying to get people to buy all these games on an Xbox when, I mean, marketing ain't been the greatest. you know have had issues with like, your content coming out at a regular cadence. I think all that's being cleared up clearly, what we see from the past showcase and how they're going about things now. But I don't think the Microsoft people care about that stuff. I think they care about putting all these games everywhere and getting a ROI, a return on investment. And I think that's what they're doing. And that's going to be to the detriment of the hardware. I think they understand that too.
But let me put you in that perspective. Let's say, for example, you are in the PR department for Xbox, right?
Mhm.
And you're trying to sell the next console. Now that Xbox is allowed the Steam Store, GeForce Now, what type of value proposition or what type of incentive do you market?
You market a handheld. You market a handheld because I mean, yeah, you're going to market Game Pass because you're the only one that's really putting your first party games like this into Game Pass. So you're doing something that's different than your competition. But also, this is why I think they're going towards a handheld. If they weren't going to do a handheld, I don't know if they would be doing another Xbox or thinking about.
They're going to do another. They already said they're doing the next Xbox already. They already.
Yeah, the next Xbox a handheld.
No, the next Xbox is going to be a console.
The next Xbox is going to be a handheld, sir. Xbox.
It is not going to be a handheld.
In 2026, they will be releasing an Xbox handheld.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Yeah,
for the next generation or in the middle of this generation?
For them, it will be considered next generation.
Yeah.
So do you still think they'll do like a dedicated home console, or is it going to be a Switch approach? Is what you're saying? I
think. I know for a fact they have multiple prototypes of things, and we talked about Keystone that got nixed. Like they prototype stuff all the time. I do think they do have an actual Xbox traditional console in mind, but that thing is not a higher priority than the handheld right now. I think that console, if you look at what's happened with the Xbox One, which they considered a failure, and then you got your Xbox Series consoles that are selling worse than your failed Xbox One consoles. At this point, that's not as a priority as potentially being able to do something like what Nintendo did with the Switch, where you got a hybrid piece of hardware that couldn't be docked and then treated like a console, and then also go mobile. Then you also have all these additional storefronts that you're adding into it, where you could potentially be getting games that are consistently missing your console. So it's like if these games are missing being natively put on Xbox, that's fine. It's on the Epic Game Store. And so when people go onto their Xbox handheld and they go, I'm looking for X game, and then they actually, and a little symbol at the bottom is the Epic Game Store symbol. But as far as they're concerned, in the Xbox OS, it's just showing the game that they're looking for. No one gives a shit at that point, right? So I think that's what they're focused on. They're focused on building an ecosystem where they're collaborating with all these different other storefronts, where they're getting the 30% revenue cut or not. They're making sure that their gamers are getting these games while also providing a piece of hardware that people want. Because as of right now, I think they understand.
But do you think they're going to make a handheld powerful enough when you dock it on your TV at home will run 4K 60?
Nah, it ain't gonna run 4K.
Okay, Mr. Inferno
asks. Still gonna have
but Sir X-Man, the PlayStation 5 doesn't run 4K 60.
Tell them that. Will you please tell them that?
Can I?
Go ahead, Cerebral.
One, if it's strictly a handheld, I won't be able to play it at all, because my vision is shot. If they do go with a docking system and they don't no longer have a what we would call just a home console, if it is a docking system, the way they can get around some of that is if the dock actually carries some of the work once the handheld is plugged in,
like an eGPU. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So, which is the one weak point I have with even the Nintendo, because when it upscales to a big TV, you can tell that it was made for a small screen, and so get away from that shit.
But Paul, let me pivot to you on this same question. Okay, let's just say everything that Slow-Mo was talking about, everything that Cozy was talking about, everything comes to fruition, right? You get your Steam store, your Epic Game Store, everything, GeForce Now on the Xbox ecosystem. What is the motivation, I guess is the word I'm looking for, for somebody to buy an Xbox console?
Because not every, I think at this point, not everything's going to be available on all those, or it's going to run well on all those platforms.
Mhm.
You're going to, they're always going to have these things that you can only do on the console, be it a handheld, hybrid, or whatever. Because I haven't heard that they're not working on a that they're only working on a handheld for the next gen. I haven't heard that at all. I know they are working on one, but whether that's the only one they're working on for next gen, I don't know.
Okay, all right. Well,
I heard they're working on a companion handheld that'll have the ability to copy files directly off of a home-based console. You can still download them, but if
you plug it up and it'll transfer, copy it over.
Yeah.
I heard that too. Yeah.
Okay, well, let me pivot to Loke on this, and the same topic, Loke. My question to you is the same thing that I asked Cerebral. What is the metric that somebody who's looking at the Xbox console in 2026, say, for example, what would be the motivation for that person to buy an Xbox as opposed to something else that is on the market at that time?
It's the cheap entry. They're banking on Xbox Game Pass and giving everyone this vision that you can spend, I don't know, $50, $100, and you're already on the cutting edge of gaming. You're already experiencing AAA. That's what they want everyone to look at. But for me, I don't live in these 25 countries that the Fire Stick or the Fire TV or whatever works in. It's 25 countries, not even South Africa, which is the one country that for some reason the US considers a country, is not even South Africa is considered on that list. So for me, this whole thing, it's just the Microsoftification of Xbox. I'm sure that in the long run, these moves are all going to be genius. The same way we have to admit, right? Even if it's tacit, we have to admit that the Xbox One kind of saw where everything was going. They didn't see where it was going in terms of AAA games, right? They didn't invest enough in that. But everywhere else, in terms of turning the console into a do-it-all machine, or do more machine, right? They were on point with that. They just really, really messed up with the exclusives or lack thereof. So I think in the long run, definitely Game Pass, putting it everywhere, Fire Sticks and tablets and televisions, because they have this deal with Samsung TVs, all this other stuff. We're going to see it fully metastasize, right, in like 10 years. But right now, right the fuck now,
he said the F word.
I
know, right?
And that's
Xbox is not a
what
great
you
place
speak
to be right now.
What you speak to is one of the reasons I think that they still may be a piece of hardware coming that's not a handheld, is that there are a lot of countries that either don't have good enough Wi-Fi coverage or good enough, all that to be able to use a device like that.
But Paul, they've never cared about those countries in the past. They don't market in those countries. They barely produce their
Microsoft has
They
been
do
putting,
no localization in those countries. Even countries that are actually have a like the target demographic is the gamers, and look like South Korea, like they came out with Age of Empires 4 in South Korea, and then the localization into Korean was abysmal to the point where it made the game unplayable. They don't put the necessary work in those regions the way that their competitors do. I don't think they care, honestly.
Watch us buy PlayStations.
Sony does a little
you
better
don't care.
job. Sony does just a little bit better job than Xbox in regions that. Don't forget that on Sony's side, they still had 183 countries that lost access to Helldivers 2 when they just required a login to PSN.
It's true.
I mean, so I'm not saying Xbox is on the positive for this because they're not, but PlayStation also has got many countries that that aren't even allowed to have PSN accounts. So I'm starting, maybe it's not all the corporation's fault, because if I would rather have PSN accounts on every country on the planet. But in those countries that lost access to Helldivers 2 for the brief period of time until they rolled it back, until they could have PSN accounts, why couldn't they at least have a PlayStation Network account?
Well, Krishna asking in the chat, hey, Bob, answer this. Doesn't Valorant require a login?
It does.
It does,
yeah.
I've never played Valorant.
You know what's sad? A lot of these games now require a login. New
This is a live
games
service
now
game
require
requires a login.
But,
Yep.
but okay, let me Super, let me go to you first, and then I'm going to go to Triple next. Again, same thing. Okay, all of this stuff is going to be available, say, day one on the next Xbox console. So from your standpoint, and let's not worry about the 180 countries or 150 countries. Let's just talk about United States, okay? Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Loke. Well, but you're in Texas, so you're good. But I mean, what is the motivation a customer has to buy the next Xbox console? Like, what would compel somebody to buy that?
It's the same as every Xbox console. It's games, right? Like, whatever the next Xbox is, if there are games that are going to be exclusive to that platform that I'm interested in, and I'm sure there will be, I'm going to have to get an Xbox to play them. Like, that's been what it's been since the beginning of consoles existing. I don't understand why that would be any different now.
But if everything is available day one on Steam, and then you have a Steam store available day one on Xbox.
Some people like me aren't interested in having a PC or owning a PC, right? Even my buddy who's got a PC now is trying to get me over. Like, I don't give a fuck about a PC. I don't care about Steam. I'd rather have the console. And a lot of people are there are people that are obviously moving over to the PC side, but majority of people, they're gonna probably get a console.
Me and Nova agree. Yay!
What's funny is Wize always asks this question, but why? Anytime you talk to Wize about getting a PC, I don't want a game on PC. So Wize is one of those people.
Yeah, I am one of those people. I will buy the console because for me, yes, if it's like one of those are you making a dumbed down PC where I can basically have one UI that gets me access to the Steam store, Xbox Game Pass? Yeah, I'm down. I'm fine for that. But then again,
I never have to boot up my console and update the BIOS or do any other kind of crazy shit or tweaking the settings. I just play the games and they run.
No,
update the BIOS.
But you have updated drivers.
That is a misconstrued moniker from PCs 20 years ago.
Whatever the case is, I know there's times where shit's not running. You got to go through settings or tweak this or move the slider.
No, never. I'm one of the laziest console players that's only been playing PlayStation and some Xbox all these years. As soon as I got a gaming PC, Cozy was like, just install Steam, buy shit, play shit. And that's what I've done. I have not
Steam
installed one fucking driver. I don't know what a BIOS is.
Okay.
I don't know nothing.
You don't need to update your BIOS. That deals with your motherboard, and that's not needed to be done. You will need to update the firmware of your GPU on a semi-regular basis. It's not although the NVIDIA will drop new firmware updates to make sure your game.
Oh, they make that so easy, don't they?
It's no different than updating the update that comes to your PlayStation and Xbox. Install GeForce and Experience or NVIDIA app. They give you a notification when there's a new firmware update. You just hit a button and just wait a couple of moments and it's done. It's really a lot simpler.
Every once in a while, like the other night, NVIDIA had to drop an emergency one because it broke.
So I have 3 monitors. I have a 42-inch.
They have achievements
that
on
I game
PC as
on.
well. This shit
Which
is
one
nice.
has ray tracing
I
enabled?
have-
Which one has the ray tracing function?
The game. The game.
All 3 of them. All 3 of them.
Yeah, but only.
But anyway, I
only
have
one of them is really
Steam,
viable. But yeah.
Steam. Literally, I have Steam set to open in big picture mode, and from big picture
I
mode,
hate big
it is
picture mode.
it is instantly a console. All I got to do is turn on my Xbox controller that's linked to my PC, and it is a console. And the button mapping is already done.
Yeah, the whole thing even
already
changes,
been-
right? The setup of Steam as well.
Everything.
It changes.
Yeah.
I noticed that the
it's
other
so
day.
easy.
And you
I
can use
have
the
to make
blend
sure
that-
I
controller
don't
as well.
accidentally hit that
That is
button
sweet.
in big picture mode. I hate big picture mode.
I'm not trying to do a shameless product plug here because
Yes,
I'm
you
not
are.
endorsed in any way. But I run AVG driver updater in the background on my PC. And every time I turn my PC on, it goes and looks. It looks for update drivers for my chipset, my GPU. I don't run GeForce Experience. I don't even have that installed. It goes and it'll update my drivers from my Wi-Fi, my GPU, my South Bridge,
It'll find it
everything.
itself. It'll
just
finally
goes-
update itself. Yeah.
It'll find it itself, and it'll throw a notification. You have 2 drivers outdated. Click here. I click there. I see what they are. I say, okay, update.
Okay, right now, KY,
it's just-
what consoles or platforms do you have in your possession right now? You have a PC, obviously, right? And what else do you got?
Yes, I have a PC. I have an Xbox Series X. I have a PS4 Pro. I have a PS5, and I have a Switch.
Okay, so let me go to you next.
I mean,
okay.
I've got older consoles, but
Okay, are
All
you
right,
going to
all right.
buy the next iteration of whatever Xbox console is? If all of this
Yes, I
comes to
am.
fruition, are you going to buy the next console, or are you going to say, well, shit, it's already a PC anyway, so I got a PC, so I'm good?
Nope. And let me tell you why. Because Xbox has already come out and said that the next generation of hardware will be the largest leap that they have ever seen. Okay, that's still not going to come close to my PC. I mean, okay, you take the Series X. The Series X, 12 terabytes of GPU processing power. Okay, or teraflops. I'm sorry, teraflops. My
Teraflops.
4080 Super, 55 teraflops. That is what the PC is working with. But even if they double their 12 to 24, that's still a large lot. If you look at the Steam Deck, okay, yes, the Steam Deck is what it is. But do you have a Steam console? They tried it. They even tried a GeForce console. They didn't take off. So maybe they're going with this large technological leap in hardware performance because they're lining up the Steam store. They're lining up this NVIDIA GeForce Now. They're lining this stuff up to say, look, this is your box for the portal to all these different gaming services. And I know what
KY. And 24 teraflops is in an enclosed environment is a lot of power. It is a lot of power.
I hate the teraflop number because it's so
Me
misleading.
too, but I just put it out to.
It's misleading because what it means is like it's floating point calculations, but that's not like how game development is. And then you can't compare teraflops of one architecture or one particular like generation of a GPU architecture to another because they calculate those floating points differently. So if you were trying to compare the teraflops, let's say a 2080 Ti to a 3070. Like just because the 2080 Ti has a higher teraflop number than the 3070, it's like it doesn't matter because they're both doing it very differently. So it's just it doesn't really. I'm not making a big deal about it. I'm just saying that like all that stuff, bringing up teraflops in the very beginning back in 2019 when both Sony and Microsoft were marketing the Xbox Series consoles and the PS5. It was all for marketing. It was all to give you a big number to say, ooh, look what we can do. But none of that stuff really matters when it comes to game development. Like, developers don't give a crap about a teraflop number.
It was trying to put the technical aspect into layman's terms so that they understood just how far they were coming with new hardware.
Yeah, it's like we all get it. We all here understand the fact that, you know, the teraflops are not teraflops. Like, 1 teraflop is not the same as like a next generation teraflop. However, it is probably the only metric they have anymore. Back in the day, it was bits. Now it's teraflops. It's just a PR
but if you put the true calculation of how it's measured out there, so many people would be confused. They'd be like, "What? What the hell does that mean?"
No. Yeah, I mean, like PC guys to see
who was in here.
Go ahead.
Who was it here that was saying not? Somebody says they weren't interested in Steam whatsoever.
Oh, I love Steam.
I heard it.
No, I think that was Super. Didn't you say that?
Well, I'm not just in gaming on PC.
Yeah, I think it was. So I'm going to be honest with you. A year ago, outside of my real-time strategy games, which I love my real-time strategy games. I'm a big Command and Conquer fan.
Yeah.
The Red Alert games, I love those games. I love Age of Empires. I love Shogun.
You're an RTS guy.
Well, yeah, I love my RTS guys. I love my RTS games. And yes, Xbox has done some very, very good controller implementations. I mean, if you had never played an RTS game on PC and you had picked up Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition on Xbox Game Pass and played it through the controller, you would have thought that game was made for controller because they did it so good. But I still feel like keyboard and mouse is the way to play RTS games. So I didn't venture outside of RTS games on my PC. And then I got into Steam. And I started looking at Steam and all of these really, really cool early access projects by all these different developers. And dude, I've got so many. I've got like 100 games in my Steam library. And these are smaller developers that update their games every week. And I'm big on the survival games. And these survival games some of them I've considered to be like pretty cutting edge. Like, I started talking about a game that came out a month ago called Serum, and everybody's like,
I heard of it.
What is that? I'm like, dude, you've never heard of Serum? And they haven't, because I mean, it's big on Steam. It's really cool. It actually taxes my 40. I blame the reason why the 4080 Super is struggling with its implementation and whether or not the game has really been optimized. But I don't know, man. I mean, I was in the same boat you were in, Super. I'm not trying to draw you to one side or the other, but I know what you mean. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm cool with my PS5. I'm cool with my Series X and my Switch, and this has got everything I want. And I still do game on those a lot. But I've discovered so many things on Steam that I never even knew.
Your mind, Bob. You expanded your mind.
Dude, it is a huge world out there. We're talking about games that are like, they're fucking blockbusters on Steam, and as console players, we've never even freaking heard of them. Yeah, it just blew my mind.
My favorite game that nobody's heard of on Steam, real quick, it's called Distance. It's like this timed racing game, and I show people, and they're just getting into PC. They actually go buy it because I showed them and I told them go check it out. It's one of those great games that console people don't know about, you know. And there's a lot of games like that on Steam. Even Slow Mo will tell you that there's a lot of good games on Steam that nobody knows about.
And there's a ton of games on Steam. Some of them, though, I mean,
Are trash. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yeah.
Some
it
of them
is a lot. It's a lot. Look, I enjoy early access on Steam because, like, you'll get into betas that consoles don't even get the opportunity to because Sony and Microsoft have like a system that's like, we gotta check it out, and it takes like a week or so, and they just like developers don't even bother. They just put it on Steam and do their beta testing there. But then you see some other games that's just like big titty Twister Simulator, and it's just like what, like some of the stuff that's on there is just like all over the place.
I'm about to hurt Wize with this.
What's wrong with titties?
Wize?
Nothing wrong with titties. Have anyone said
Ain't
anything
nothing
wrong
wrong with
with
it.
it?
I just don't need to play a game based around it though.
There are people who want the big titties.
Hey,
there's a game on
more power
Steam
to
that
'em.
will make Wize go buy a PC.
Yeah,
Why?
that would be it.
There
If there was a
is-
big
no,
titty
no,
simulator,
let me
that
say
would be it.
this.
Shit,
No,
my
no,
ass
no,
would
no,
be
Wize already opened up a new
Wize,
egg in a new
Wize,
tab.
let me get to this. There is a game on Steam that has iteration number 4 now. It's third game that is really nothing but sex with animated characters that look like real people.
Okay, well, okay. NZX, do y'all recommend NZXT or do I?
Honestly,
I gotta
so
tell you.
I used to give those games out as a gag, and I kind of want to start a stream dedicated to those games.
But you can't show that game because there's real nudity.
You can
There's
show
real
them,
nudity.
just not on Twitch and standard There are places where you can stream those games.
There's some perverted shit on Switch.
On
I
Steam,
mean,
on Steam. No,
yeah.
on Steam.
It's not perverted. It's inspired. What's wrong with
Yeah.
Hold it, and
Just
then
like,
you hold it real quick, and then you have to tempt the person, persuade them to see if they're interested in doing the game.
So
Yeah.
So
All
just like slow-mo backslap was saying, the early access on Steam, like let's say
I don't do that.
there's a game that's coming out and they give you an early access date, and on that date you get the game, and let's say it costs you $14.99 for that game, and it's an early access for 6 months or 9 months, and you're playing the game. You paid $14 or $15, rounded up. You paid $15 for that game, and that game finally gets its 1.0 access on Steam.
And you only paid $15.
Right. It gets its 1.0 access at $45, but you already own the motherfucker at $14.
Yep, that's what I did with
It's
Assetto
just-
Corsa when it was in beta
Just
mode.
getting in, being able to get in on the ground floor and save some money and help develop a game, because every time you play the game and you have issues with it, Steam gives all that information back to the developer, and you're really helping to create games.
Yeah, and you report it, and it helps you.
Yeah. It's
How about this? I got you know that game Frag Punk, that hero shooter they showed.
I heard
the
about
Xbox
that,
over?
right.
Yeah, that fucking
Yeah.
crap card
I'm-
game / hero shooter.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
I
How
wasn't all
was
that
it?
interested in it, but I'm installing it right now. I'll play it tonight, see what's up with it.
I don't do
like,
early access.
Well,
it allows me to eliminate games that I know I'm not going to be interested in when the final product comes out. And so,
Or if the game does come out, you can take the pride to say, I had input into helping that game thrive. And if the game turns out good, you know what I'm saying?
If it doesn't,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
pretend like you don't know what happened.
Right.
Oh, no.
If
If it's trash, then you jump on the other soapbox and say, I knew that game was shit 9 months ago.
I've seen that.
okay, speaking about games that are not trash, or a game that's definitely not going to be on early access, it's this one, Astrobot. Digital Foundry had a chance to do an early preview of the
But
game.
of course they did.
And John Linneman,
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all want to. I don't know. Some people say that they're like PlayStation centric or
Just
whatever.
spoil it. Let's go.
Anyhow, they had nothing but rave reviews, and in fact, they were saying that this might be one of the best platforms of the generation, if not ever. And
What are we
yeah.
talking about? Yeah.
this game,
Astrobot.
Astrobot, is
The
coming
new
out.
Astrobot game.
Yeah, they DF
one
got a
of the
chance to
best
play it, and they
platformers.
had nothing but rave reviews about it. They said it ran impeccably at 60, solid, and they said that
I'm excited for Astrobot. I love Astro's Playroom. I think Astrobot looks like it's going to be awesome. But John fucking straight up said it's his most anticipated game of the year, and I'm like, really, bro?
Maybe that's the kind of game just for him that he likes and he considers fun.
Well, some people do indicate that he is more of a PlayStation.
We got games like Black Myth Wukong coming out.
But I mean, maybe he's not a weeb.
Your most anticipated.
No, but he's talking about platformers. Platforms are the platformers.
No, he said straight up his most
No. He said
anticipated
one of his
game
most
of the
anticipated
year.
games.
Not one of. He said.
No. Okay, go. Triple, I'm not heard from you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just on this topic, I'm confused on what you're getting at, because like people just like different things.
Yeah.
Right.
My most anticipated game is something like 5 people probably.
Else is like a Civic or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
that's like my most.
Allow me to be an asshole like I own
My most exciting game is real-time strategy.
A real-time? What real-time strategy?
RTS. He's talking about RTS. Games.
Yeah.
Yeah, but which one?
Sins of a Solar Empire 2.
Yeah, okay. I'm with her on that one, but
It's
actually my most anticipated.
ages.
But see, you guys are RTS people.
No,
is it
No, that's what we're saying.
No,
we're saying.
this isn't a.
Sorry.
But is it?
Oh,
my most.
All right, Biden, cut it out.
My most anticipated game is Terminator Survivors.
Oh, I heard that.
That is my most. It's gonna be dope.
I'm most hyped for the first Descendant.
The first Descendant.
See?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
That's gonna be good
Dragon
too.
Age Veilguard.
my friend
Hold on, we
said,
gotta
"You
look up
tried
First
to play First Descendant with me." I was like, maybe.
Hey, Slow-Mo, I got two. Mecha Break, because that's the kind of games I like, and Marvel Capcom series. That's it. That's my 2 anticipated games.
But that's the idea, is that, this could be someone's most anticipated game because that's their favorite kind of game.
Right. Might be what John Linneman likes.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, I'm going to say this, though. I am looking forward to it because I am a platformer fan. I mean, Mario, all that stuff. So, of course, I'm going to be down day one. My 2 games of this year are going to be this one and, Astrobot. And as you said, Slow-Mo, Dragon Age Veilguard. That looks fucking awesome.
So, honestly, my other most anticipated games already came out this year. And that was...
It doesn't count!
Luigi Mansion 2?
Huh? No! Helldivers!
We're talking about games that are
Outlaws?
coming out.
I don't like Star Wars.
Oh, see, I'm hyped for Star Wars Outlaws. I think Outlaws looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking for the Outlaws, and I'm looking forward to Indiana Jones.
I'm waiting for the
that
next
too.
story for Star Trek.
I get it.
Online.
I've never been
yeah.
a Star Wars fan, so I've never...
We always crap on like these publishers and think there ain't games coming out, but like as we've all said here, there's a lot of games coming out. We've not mentioned Wukong, we've not mentioned Phantom Blade Zero, we've
the back half of
Metal
this year
Gear.
is stacked for games.
Oh yeah, Metal Gear
Football
Delta.
Manager 2025.
Oh, that's so fascinating.
Yeah,
Dude,
y'all
I'm
better
looking forward to
delete a lot of your
NCAA.
Y'all
I'm
better
looking forward to
delete a
NCAA.
lot of your
Me
backlog.
too.
Because you ain't gonna have no room on your hard
Backlog
drive.
is a way of life.
You're not gonna have no room on your hard drive.
Exactly. So I know I'm not the only one here. My significant other, she keeps track of how much I spend on gaming. She was like, "You need to tone it down a little bit," or do you?
And you say, "Fuck that shit."
What's she spend a lot of money on? What's she spending a lot of money on?
Telling her how much you make.
No. I'm lucky enough to have a wife that's actually very frugal and only focuses on what's necessary.
What? Then you need to find her
Yeah,
a
I
hobby
know.
so that she can like be engrossed in it. And
Then that'll be double the price. Because then
he's good. That's more money for him to spend.
No. The problem is, while you're handpicked, you should man up and say, "Fuck it, I'm going to go to the bank and open an account that you don't know about, so I can buy my game."
Hey, listen. To be fair, she's gonna be kind of on his ass about what he's spending, but at the same time, not be like, "Look, honey, I just got in a fucking $120 pair of pumps, bro. That's a good trade."
Right, that's
a
too
good
damn.
trade-off.
No,
So-
no. My wife goes
The
to
reason I
Ross and
brought
buys
that up-
$200 worth of shit and says, "Oh yeah, I saved you money." I'm like, "How the fuck are you spending $200 to me
So
money?"
the reason I brought that up, is because I pretty much accepted that my lifestyle, right as it is right now, is accepted.
It's over.
And so I'm okay with it. No. So what I did was, because of the upcoming games from Ubisoft, like Star Wars Outlaws, which is what brought this up to mind, I dropped my PlayStation subscription.
What?
And picked up the Ubisoft subscription instead.
What?
The premium
Fraud.
that gets it to me on PC and
You're a
whatever.
bot. You're a bot.
No,
you didn't let go of Game Pass, but you got let.
I will do the same. I will probably do the same thing because it's how I can
Because
afford to play that game. And it's the big money
look,
game
the reason
too.
why
Isn't
the
it
reason
the
why I
Locals
didn't get
edition too?
rid of Game Pass, right? The only reason I didn't get rid of Game Pass is because I weighed the two together, and PlayStation only gave me the benefits on my console. But Game Pass Ultimate is giving me that benefits wherever I choose to go.
Yep.
So, I mean, it was kind of. I mean, I buy the games anyway on my PS5. So what was I getting by? I wasn't really getting anything. I was like, what am I going to use more? I'm gonna get these 3 games coming out from Ubisoft that look really cool, and I get the best version available, just for replacing my monthly subscription for PlayStation.
That sounds sensible.
With this monthly subscription.
But you kept the online part for $80 a year, though, right?
Unfortunately, yes. I just got rid of the perks and benefits.
Right. Okay.
I only have PlayStation. What is it? Essential? Was that the lowest one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went from premium to essential just so I can keep my cloud saves. Because they make you they gatekeep that, which I'm not a fan of. But I mean, look, I'm gonna sign up for Ubisoft Plus, and then I'm gonna cancel it once I get done with Outlaws, because that's how I normally roll with the subscription services that I know of games I'm not going to play very often. I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting money on this.
Netflix ain't got nothing this month or next month. I can get rid of it for a minute.
They got Cobra Kai coming out this month, so I got to watch Cobra Kai. That thing is fucking.
Cobra Kai coming out this month?
Yeah.
Oh,
really?
That's this month?
It's coming back. All right, that's good to know.
Baby.
Yeah, I keep the streaming services for like my
Sweep the
kids
leg.
are all in that, so like I can't cancel none of that stuff. But like as far as the gaming stuff, like my son has his own PC. I built him a PC. He's got his own Game Pass with that, and so I got him PC Game Pass. And then my daughter has her own Xbox Series S, and she's a child account under my account. So I got Ultimate, so that works out. But like outside of that, anything else, when Ubisoft dropped Avatar and then that Prince of Persia game back to back, I just subscribed to Ubisoft Plus, played them, and then I was done with them. I honestly,
Man, I always wanted to talk to somebody who actually really played the Avatar. How is it slow mo?
No, what's his name playing? No, Super playing. This Super fucking had to slog through that motherfucker.
It's beautiful and boring. So I didn't finish it. Yeah,
It's deluxe stinky sauce.
It sounds like Horizon Zero Dawn.
Wow.
No, it's
To build-
it is really, really boring.
To build on
most of the time. God.
No, it was funny.
To
It was
build
super-
on
ahead,
the Avatar conversation,
No.
I think that really Avatar is displaying what's going to happen in gaming from here on out. We're not going to see modes that completely disable ray tracing. We're going to see more games that use selective ray tracing, because Avatar uses ray tracing in every mode. But
I don't
it's
think
just
the game.
selective
I don't
on
think
where
the
it
problem
uses
with
it.
Avatar was the graphics. I mean, the problem with the Avatar was the actual story and the gameplay. If I'm
No,
right,
it
Super-
It's very boring.
It wasn't so much the story. It is boring. It was you spent a lot of time having to physically pick fruit off of plants. Like,
Oh my God!
No.
It's just like Animal Crossing.
No, it's worse because every plant, in order to take it off the fucking whatever the fuck it is, the stem or the tree, you have to rotate analog sticks in a certain
Okay,
direction.
so
Yeah.
you just said like
And get
what's
'em in a
Animal
sweet
Crossing
spot.
but not fun?
I don't care about Animal
I
Crossing.
played it for quite a few hours. I mean, it was It was boring. It did have a story, but man, you really had to trudge through to get it any story.
Yeah, I quit very
for me,
early. It's a
the
beautiful
combat
game
wasn't
though.
very fun
Yeah.
because you're shooting a lot of these enemies that are really, really far away. You can barely even see them. They're so small on the screen. There's so many of them. You get shot from fucking every direction. You can't even see where you're getting shot from because they're so far away and they're so small compared to you.
Sounds
It just-
like
it- it
mosquitoes.
wasn't-
One
it
of-
just-
one of
it
my
wasn't-
biggest
it
issues
wasn't
was
fun.
it took
It
you
wasn't
forever
fun.
to
They
get to where you were
seriously
playing.
need
And see,
to-
when I saw the gameplay, I was like, "Oh, this looks like Far Cry with an Avatar skin." Yo, I'm here for that. The problem is, it doesn't
Yeah.
play like Far Cry. Not at all. Not even the
No.
gunplay. Not even the bows, which you would think there's bows in Far Cry. The bows would feel exactly the same in Avatar. They don't. Whatever the fuck they did, they fucked it up. Deluxe Dookie sauce. I'm telling you, it is not a good game.
Thank you,
Not
Bastard. I never
problem with
seen
Avatar?
anybody talk about Avatar, and I always wondered.
Because it
No,
wasn't fun, and you know,
Yeah.
look, Massive Entertainment is the developer. They make the Snowdrop engine, which is probably one of the best engines in the industry. It's an amazing game engine. They use it in the Division games, but
Yeah.
it's just like this was a little bit out of their wheelhouse. They're also making the Outlaws game, so I mean, that definitely plays a little bit different.
Yeah.
To be
You can
fair,
tell.
I mean,
one of the
Go ahead, Paul.
sorry.
one of the biggest issues for in Avatar, it took you forever to get to where you were at a flying mount. So you
Yeah.
spent the first 23 hours of the game literally walking around. I mean, and the fast travel spots were so spread apart. It's like, okay, this is stupid. How can I get my mount? Oh, you have to complete this quest, which is like the 4th quest in, and it's really freaking long. Yeah. And if
Why
you're
did
still
that
with us-
sound like
It's-
Kojima's game?
it's-
Why did that sound like Kojima's game?
Oh, fuck. I'm getting off. I'm getting off the fucking stream.
Uh-oh.
And Loca's gonna go nuclear on your ass. I'm sorry.
The picking of the crops that really is the worst part because
feeling
you need
generous
to, you need
today.
To, you need to
It's
grab
fine.
the crops and plants for everything, for upgrades, for everything. You need to find all these plants, and there's some that are only in certain areas of the map. And like I said, when you go there, you can't just grab them. It's a fucking mini game just to grab the item off the fucking
Though,
shelf.
though with accessibility, you could. With
I am-
accessibility, you could simplify that. But yeah,
So that's very apt to say this like a Kojima
That was
game.
pretty
'Cause it is.
important.
It's like a Kojima game, but without Kojima for people to cap for it and act like it's genius when it's not. It's just
It's pretty and boring like the Avatar movies.
Yes, there you go. Look, I say this all the time: never go full Kojima. Like the guy, ever since he left Konami, his games ain't fun. He out here on Xbox. He got actors screaming at the camera. Like what is this? He can't even tell you what kind of game it is.
I did not.
He creating characters in his games called Die Hard Man. And seriously, that's the guy's name, Die Hard Man. Like, I'm supposed to take this game serious? Freak out here.
Wait a minute, there was a guy called Die Hard Man. Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my God.
He's got a mask that he wears.
That's an insult.
He wears a mask. He's talking to you with a mask on. His name is Die Hard Man. You're supposed to take this guy seriously.
What's the functionality of the mask? I don't know. It's just a fucking gold skull mask he wears. I have no idea why.
He's got characters named Fragile. I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like
And look, I mean, to be fair, I enjoyed Death Stranding, but
they would have done better remaking Die Hard, right?
Before we get too far away from Avatar, I do want to state that my problem with Avatar was like I'm with Super. I love Far Cry games, but in Far Cry, you have the element of stealth. In Avatar, you don't. You have the element of stealth until you initiate a combat. After you initiate the combat, everybody in that fucking camp knows exactly where you are.
Yeah.
And
Oh my God. Are you serious?
And then
Oh,
it's
it's bad.
bullets from every direction. And again, they're so far away, you can't tell where the fuck you're getting shot from.
Oh,
You just die.
Did anybody try to co-op with somebody in their game?
That's a single player game. I don't think there is co-op.
There's no co-op on that. Wow.
There was supposed to be
No
co-op.
co-op.
They announced co-op in the
Nope.
game.
Nope.
Oh my God. So they lied.
I don't think they ever said it was
No,
co-op.
yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. They did. They did say there was co-op in that game. You and a
Swear
friend
there's supposed to be
could join
co-op
up and
one
play the
playing.
game.
To be
They did
honest,
say
though,
that.
co-op would not have made that game any more fun. It just would have been boring.
Not
shit
fun with
two
friends.
people. Yeah.
So in other words, stick to
Like the
playing
tension.
Stick to playing the Borderlands, right?
Oh, Borderlands for me was infinitely more fun. Even Tiny Tina's Wonderland is infinitely more fun than fucking.
Was that co-op
Enjoy-
too?
No,
I
no,
wonder.
actually,
Was that
no, no,
co-op?
Every Borderlands game
People
has got
shit on
co-op.
Tiny Tina. I actually enjoyed Tiny Tina. I
Different
thought it was a
gen.
really nice take
It was
on it.
awesome,
It was
dude.
okay. Yeah, it was okay.
I hated Tiny Tina's. Well, I'm a massive
like
Borderlands
Borderlands in a
fan for
different
everything
universe.
else, but Tiny Tina was just not. I didn't like the weapons.
Yeah.
Like I one of the pillars of Borderlands
I'm sad. Breaking news.
is
and I'm
like
sad.
Go ahead.
What?
Martin Mull has passed away.
Really?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not. I wouldn't be joking about that.
I don't know who that is. Sorry.
Yes, you do.
Well,
If you see-
we're
when you see
old
him.
timers. We know who he is.
Martin
You
Mull.
know him if you see him.
Yep.
He was
Oh,
the
wow.
one that had the big
Oh, yeah.
nose
Okay.
that played,
I just
right.
looked it up. I know who he is. I never knew his name. I know who he is though.
oh wow, yeah, he was on Roseanne.
Yep.
Yeah,
He was on
and
a
he
lot
was
of
in
other
Clue.
things.
He played the Colonel in Clue.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, he became a big star in the late 70s. That's when he really popped. Yeah.
Yeah. Poor.
Yeah, I agree with Nate in the chat. Tiny Tina was a big miss, and part of the things that I think are quintessential Borderlands is great skill trees and great weapons, and the combinations that you can make with that to just be completely overpowered and ridiculous in the games. Weapons like that can talk to you, weapons that like do all kinds of weird stuff that no one would even think of trying in the game. Like that's the kind of stuff that I did not see from Tiny Tina's, and
that's how I felt about Borderlands 3. The story wasn't all that in Borderlands 3.
Oh, so the story's awful in 3.
It is.
Yeah.
A lot of the wrong things.
The antagonists are terrible. Like those
And worse
twins.
is a teenager girl. Ugh.
Yeah. You don't like
Ava? Yeah.
I hate her. I wanted to punch her in the face the entire time.
I have no idea who approved that. They need to be fired.
Weren't they like social media influencers and shit? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
no, they were
yeah.
terrible, but the teen girl was worse, and so like I couldn't even
it's their
genuinely
fault.
hate them as much.
They killed
because
off a
me-
fan favorite and then
did you-
added her in as a substitute for the fan favorite. I'm just like,
I gotta ask, in
that's
Borderlands
ridiculous.
3 though, didn't you think some of the weapons were a little like stupid and not
The
enough? and
weapons
didn't
are
do enough?
always stupid.
No,
Yeah.
I thought the weapons were good in 3. I mean, they're not as
Borderlands
iconic
3 had great
as
as
2,
gameplay.
but yeah, it was like the gunplay was better.
It was great. It was absolutely fun,
And
but
there-
everything
and there
else
was so
about it
much
was kind of like
variation.
lacking.
I didn't like it. I didn't like the characters in 3.
Yeah,
It's just something
Make
about them
that
that just
sort
did
of
not
playable.
feel right.
Yeah. Well, oh, by the way, let me pivot on this game. The First Descendant is running right now, actually on screen. Looks intriguing. Slow-mo, tell us more about this game.
Well, yeah, I'm actually starting to do more than start. I've been started doing coverage on this game on my YouTube channel. So this is it's a looter shooter, but like more like
I thought that
Warframe.
was
It's like
Concord.
Warframe.
I thought it was
take my
Concord.
money.
I didn't know.
Is it free to play?
It is free to play. Yeah,
Never mind. Not interested.
Last
So-
year
It's on
earlier.
PC or console? PC.
it's on everything. It's on everything.
Oh, okay.
It's coming
I
out
might
July
pick that up.
2nd. When I say it's like Warframe, it's like the way you unlock the Descendants, unlock your characters. It's very
so-
much like Warframe.
Okay, so it's not designed around like being an actual game that encourages spending money.
Well, I mean, it will encourage you to spend money in the ways that Warframe does. So this is what Warframe and the First Descendant will do. You'll have characters where you have to actually unlock those characters to use them, but you got to gather materials to do that, and then they'll time gate the actual building of those
You're
materials.
talking to the wrong person. I am patient.
Yeah, the
Oh, okay,
original,
yeah, then
the original Overwatch was like that.
I will have a bajillion
yeah.
things in the backlog in my what you call it, waiting to be created. I will never
Yeah.
spend.
Yeah, so like you can everything in the game you can actually build or grind to get without actually having to pay the money for it. If you do want to pay money for it, you can to get it quicker, but you don't have to.
I even keep things unassembled, like ready to go in my what you call it?
I might pick that up.
In Warframe.
The Forge or whatever
I
the thing
keep
is.
things
Yeah.
unassembled if I don't have a slot for them. I'm like, okay, this is just say unassembled until I need it.
Yeah,
So I
but
presume it's a
even
multiplayer
to the
game,
point of the actual, like the way you do your builds, you look at your weapons, you look at your actual descendants, and I don't know, like the gameplay's probably going to get to it at some point because they're just looking at cosmetics.
Is it
Yes, crossplay over everything. And the way you would set up your characters in Warframe is the same way you set up your characters in First Descendant. Like you'll get mods that you actually attach to the weapons to your character to give you buffs and different things like that. So,
you're selling me on it. Stop it.
hey, look, it's a fun game. It's a fun game. It's free to play. Like I say, it's free to play. So give it a
Warframe is
shot.
legit the only game. Well, I guess
that means it's coming to Xbox on Tuesday.
Cousin It, do you know anything about this game?
No, not really.
Okay, so
There was a demo that was out a while ago, I think.
Yeah.
It looks cool. It really looks cool.
I played it.
I played a bit of it.
you played it? Triple, you said you played it?
I played a bit of it, yeah.
look at
just kind
Triple
of
playing games.
burnt out on the looter shooters because I played too much damn Destiny. So, but buddy of mine's trying to get me to play it when it comes out, so I might check it out again at a later date once I'm done with the Elden Ring.
Who's making it? Who do you know?
Nexon is making a South Korean, massive South
sweet.
Korean.
Nexon?
studio.
Okay,
Yeah.
shut up and take my money.
Yeah. So
It's
you
free,
can see the way
guys.
these characters look. They know what they're doing. So this
They know
see,
what
like
they're doing.
one thing I always say is a problem with Warframe is that I don't like the art style of
It's very grotesque.
yeah, it's very grotesque looking, and this is definitely a South Korean game because the characters look like
They're
some
aesthetically
waifu
pleasant.
kind of stuff that
That's
people
actually
love,
what I
right?
like about Warframe, how gross everything looks, including the little STD thing you get.
Yeah, the little thing that's on your neck in the beginning. I'm just like, and you go into a room and it
Room to
just
get
hits
it
you.
top
And
assist.
I'm just like, this is everything about Warframe is disgusting, but it's fun to play. I like the parkour elements of Warframe.
Well,
This doesn't
Warframe
quite-
is better than when it first started, though.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean-
yeah, it evolves all the
It
time.
was garbage.
But yeah, this game borrows a lot from that, and it borrows a lot from Destiny. Like the mission structure is very much Destiny. You go into like a zone, and then you'll see like parts of the zone have these little missions all over the place. And if you ever did patrol missions in Destiny, it's just like that. Like you just go up
reminded me a
to.
little bit of Anthem.
Does it have a story mode?
It does have a little anthem in it. Yeah, the story is they got all kinds of like
It's
opening
co-op too,
cutscenes, and the prologue is very deep, in depth. I mean, it's your typical, massive villain, big guy, in all massive armor. I'm going to take over the world. This is the last city on the planet, and it's the same typical story that you've
You
seen.
can co-op with a friend, though, right, Momo?
Yeah, you can go up with like 4 people.
Yeah, cool.
You got
I'm intrigued.
Electric Girl, you got Water Girl, you got Frost Girl, you got the Armor Guy.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's what I use in the bait. I forget his name, but he got the full suit of armor. I was like, I like this design.
My favorite right now is this girl that does poison, and she kind of just like she leaves. She could just throw poison on the ground, let enemies run into it, and
Poison.
yeah, it's pretty dope. It's like a descendant for everybody.
Dev DeVoe.
BBD. All right.
Poison.
Let's go ahead and pivot to the last topic, major topic actually. So this is something I was thinking about, and
Were you thinking?
Yeah, sometimes the gray matter in my skull sometimes works. Not all the time, but some of the times it does.
When
We
it's
know
not
what's
smooth.
in your gray matter already.
Yeah, whenever it's not thinking about Pornhub or something, then of course, anyways.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so like I'm coming from an era where like my first gaming experience was like Adventure on the 2600, where you literally played as a square box, and it went to 26. Went in the 2600. I think the most impressive graphics on the 2600 was Pitfall, where you had to hop on the alligator's eyes to get across the lake and everything. And then of course it evolved into what you saw with Super Mario, and then of course the games that are now here. So it got me thinking, okay, the NES, let's just say the actual hardcore like gaming as a huge hobby really came into its own with the NES, which is like in 85. It's been close to 40 years since that console came out.
85 is a long time ago.
Yeah, it was ages ago.
You wasn't even
It was
born.
when I graduated. It's when I
That's what I said.
Yeah,
This is a long time ago. I wasn't even born.
So 40 years ago, you saw like you got your Duck Hunt, you get Super Mario, you got whatever you want to look at. And you look at the games that you're playing now, like for example, the First Descendant. And, you know, as a gamer, I am very hard pressed to ever criticize a game when I'm getting a game that looks like this. Even games that are much maligned in the industry. And I hate to bring this up because some people enjoy the game, but still, it is what it is. Let's just use this as an example. Redfall, right? Redfall, many people, it was panned just across the board. Of course, there are people who like it. I'm not trying to, you know, discount or diminish Redfall, but I did play it. And like, I mean, going from what I was playing 40 years ago to what I'm playing now, even a game like Redfall, it got me thinking, what will games even be like 40 years from today?
There's gonna be a chip inside your brain where you play the game.
No, we
like
always
the
say
PlayStation 9, you put an ocular implant.
Oh, no. What was it they said? There was a BioLink. I think the PlayStation 9 car.
Yeah, I remember that. He had that little orb or something like that.
Yeah.
You guys ever watch Black Mirror?
Yeah. I've watched every episode of Black Mirror.
Anytime they do video games in Black Mirror, it's some next age, like that's impossible to do now kind of stuff. But I always imagine, like in the future, that's what gaming would be like. You ever see the episode with like dude who plays Falcon in the MCU, and he's like, they put a little stone on their temple and they're playing like this fighting game, but they're like really like filling the.
Yeah, he found a commercial.
Yeah, I found the PS9 commercial. Yeah,
but just like I can say I think that that stuff looks dope. It's like a version of VR that's more advanced because I feel like VR would be something that a lot of people would want to be into if it wasn't like
MR.
If it wasn't like some bulky device on your face making you look stupid and goofy out in public, like if it's something that's just like so just some glasses, or like in Black Mirror where they just put a little stone on your temple and then your eyes just go white and you're in the world. Like that's the kind of stuff.
I mean, we got that technology that Elon's working on that fucking
the Neuralink.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, the Neuralink.
I ain't touching nothing Elon.
Yeah.
Years we're gonna have holodecks.
Okay, so so this topic is pretty broad, and so what I want to do is I want to break it up into fragments first. The first thing I want to talk about is like right now we have three major console publishers. We have Xbox, Nintendo, and PlayStation. 40 years post, do we still have these three, or do we have something else? And of course we're just spitballing here. I just want to get everyone's take on what they will think will look what gaming will look like 40 years hence. 40 years from now, I will be 89 years old. My kid will be 55. He will be roughly what I am.
How old?
I'll be 89.
You are old.
Yeah.
You're really going to be 89?
Mm-hmm. I'm 49 now, so 40 years from now, I'll be 89.
You're still young. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, pull up that Beyond Good and Evil thing.
No, the Beyond Good and Evil? Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, so I just first want to talk about, like the first aspect I want to talk about is, do we have these three major publishers, or do we have something different? Do we have a situation where everyone's making a console, kind of like everyone used to make a VCR or a Blu-ray player or whatever, and games were just released on these different platforms? Or what, do we still have the major three, or do we have three new ones that we don't think of? So let me open that up first. Do we still have the major three publishers 40 years hence, or do you think something more evolved will happen? So let me start off.
Microsoft will still be around in some form.
What now?
Microsoft will still be around in some form. But Sony, I'm not too sure about. They need to kind of get their shit together on multiple levels. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just looking at it from a purely business standpoint.
Sony will still be around. They'll be the leading technological producer of like the lenses that you put in to like access the virtual world.
Right. Okay. I mean, they've shown no propensity toward that at all. But...
No. I mean, like literally, their lens technology is amazing.
Their lenses are used in.
They're in like everything.
Yeah,
that's really amazing. I'm not talking about their VR headset. I'm talking about their lens.
I know, and they are primarily a professional as far as that stuff goes. They're primarily on the professional market. Their shit is really expensive on that level. But yeah. I mean, the core companies themselves, will Xbox still be around? Will PlayStation be around? I don't know about that, but
I know.
there'll be. I mean, but gaming will still be around, of course. But
Well, yeah, I mean, gaming I think will be always an inherent part. I mean, I don't think that interactive media is ever going to go anywhere, right? But what does it look like? Do we have 3 publishers, or do we have 3 other publishers that we are not aware of, like Samsung,
I think
DC?
gaming will be here longer than theaters. I'm
I
serious.
mean, theaters are already on the way out.
Yeah, I think the way we look at the gaming market will look different. Like right now, the gaming market is split up between mobile, PC, and console primarily, with very small slices for like VR and stuff like that. I think that will look significantly differently. You're looking like 20, 30, 40 years from now. We can see some of these smaller slices being much bigger depending on how the technology advances. I don't think that, like, I agree, Microsoft's not going anywhere when you have like what they own now in gaming, in addition to the middleware that they make. Like they make Havoc engine, which a lot of like PlayStation uses that. So many different developers, first party or not third party, will use the software that they use in gaming. So like Microsoft's not going anywhere. The IP they own, it's not going anywhere. I don't think PlayStation is going anywhere either. I think that they are a strong brand. So it doesn't really matter if they are late to the party on the technology front. People check for PlayStation. They're going to be checking for the PS6. They will be checking for that differently than any other platform does, because it's a strong brand. And it takes a lot to kill a brand. Sony would have to be like really like bad at any of this stuff for the next decade to really hurt that brand power that they got right now. And Nintendo pretty much the same way. Does that mean that they will be as influential as they are now in the future? No, because like shoot, Meta could blow up if they continue along the lines of, you know, being focused on VR, and that gets better and cheaper at the same time, or more easier to kind of navigate within your everyday life. You just never know how it shakes out, which I think is the reason why Microsoft was so hell-bent on making sure that Google and Amazon didn't get a foothold in the gaming space, because they got the money and the resources that they were truly about that life to really disrupt things for the negative for Microsoft. And but they can't keep everyone out for forever, especially when gaming makes more money than music overall, than the movie industry overall. Like when gaming makes that much money, you can't keep these other billion-dollar corporations out
it actually
forever.
makes more than them combined.
Yes. And so they're going to have to deal with the fact that eventually, you know, a lot of more companies are going to be coming in and trying to you know, be a part of the space. And we see them working with Amazon. We see them working with them now, because I mean, you're going to have to collaborate, you know, in order to kind of survive, instead of just trying your best to keep them out of the whole
Well, who
space.
do you think is going to be the first to enter?
Turn your enemies into your friends.
Who do you think is going to be the first to enter who's not now in the gaming space? Do you think I've always said Samsung will be the next logical participant, either that or Apple?
If as long as Samsung can copy what someone else is doing, sure. Like I talk trash about Samsung because traditionally they're a company that has, like, you look at like cell phones, you look at TVs, they will still. Yeah, they'll still a patent, and then they know the international laws. What they'll do is they'll steal what you did blatantly, sell it better than you did, and then by the time the laws catch up with them and say, hey, that wasn't right, they'll go, my bad, all right, we'll pay whatever fine that is. But at this point, it's been about 4 or 5 years down the road, your company has sunk, and whoever fined it
all over again.
Yeah, this is
what like Walmart does.
Hey, yeah. So it's just, but hey, who else comes into this space? I actually think Apple is going to really push in certain areas that are the most popular to do. Right now, yeah, exactly. Apple Arcade makes them a crazy amount of money, and they don't make any games
because probably of how they control their things right now. They are satisfied with the money that they're making with the control that they have.
Yeah, which they're losing.
Yes.
If you look at a lot of the regulators, yeah,
I
they're
think
losing.
once they start losing their control, that's when they will push in.
Yep, I agree.
I foresee things being very different. Like Nintendo will be, instead of making games, Nintendo will just own the MLB. That was a joke.
MLB.
That was partially a joke.
Okay.
Okay. This
but
is where I see gaming. Oh no, go ahead, Cozy. I'll say
no, that was partially a joke because they did own part of a team.
Okay.
But
this is where I see gaming in 40 years. I see it being, honestly, it's possible. 40 years is a long time, everyone. I'll be dead by then.
Yeah, it's a whole lifetime.
No, you won't. In the
future, I will be 98. I will be 98 years old.
No, they will. By then, they'll probably have figured out how to just upload you into the VR.
Oh my god!
You'll just live there perpetually.
But no, I see the beginnings. I see the beginnings of Ready Player One.
Yes, I do
that's
too.
What I see in the future.
I think the world's gonna be miserable, so they're gonna have to make sure people are vegged out and addicted and stuck in the game world.
Man, the health issues that will occur.
Okay, well, that's the next iteration. Everyone is saying it's a foregone conclusion that VR is where gaming is going next. Does everyone think that that's the case? That 40 years from now it's going to be a VR headset?
I mean, yes, but I think
you won't call it a headset.
It'll be a more interactive.
It'll be mixed reality. It won't be just VR. It'll be
where there's going to be so much innovation in it that you won't need nothing in your hands. There'll be something in them that will register your finger movement, your leg movement, everything. So they'll have it all figured out by 40 years. All that's going to be figured out somewhere. So they'll take all the innovations that they've learned from now, they'll advance on them, make progress on it, and it'll recognize you. So you can play a shooting game. You can't do no racing games. So, that they'll probably have innovations for that too. But you'll be able to see people. You'll be able to feel where they're at, sense where they're at, peek, duck, but you better be in shape to do all that shit. But that'll be the innovation for the people then and there. Will there be other advances to help people with disabilities at the time and stuff? Sure there will. But I don't think they'll be able to play the games like we play. Still like we move around. They'll make it according for what their abilities are. But that's where I see it set. I don't see consoles in 40 years anywhere, but I do see innovation in that type of technology pushing forward. If it, like I said, it probably will be the beginning of that technology because we don't know how far technology is going to advance by then, but it's just the way it's probably going to go. You're talking about what is it? You're talking about 200. It'll be 63, 2063 by then. Come on, look how far that is.
What, 2064?
Well, 2064. You know what I mean. Stop doing that.
I think VR experiences will become mainstream when they become more than just kind of like a limited tech demo that does some interesting things. I don't really care for VR personally, but like in some of the games that I played that I thought were pretty cool, they're normally like really good experiences that are too short for me, or they are just, like I said, like very limited in game design. They're like tech demos. When games become like, when we start seeing true AAA level game designed and backed by actual money to get that done, those kind of experiences in VR, where also the technology is good and affordable. Like right now, the most affordable VR headset is like your Oculus Quest. With the like 2, I think 2 is the mobile one that's like $300, and it's like it's that's the one that has sold the most out of any VR headset, and it's
3.
because 3 is way better, but 2 has sold the most because it was, one, wireless. You didn't have not tethered to a wire or a particular piece of hardware to use it.
Right, it'll be wireless. It'll be wireless.
And then 2, it's affordable. Once the prices get affordable, like most VR headsets, you look at like the PSVR 2 $600. You know, and you got also buy a PS5. You look at the Valve Index, $1,000. You know, like when the prices get down to the levels where just anybody, your casual gamer, can just pick one up, and the games are there where they're picking up something that is a movement game, a game where everyone wants to play it. Your Minecrafts, your Call of Duties, those kind of games. And you have a VR game that does that. Now you're pushing the medium forward. VR has never had that kind of game, and that's why it will always remain niche until it does. But I mean, I think consoles won't go anywhere either, because until we start getting experiences like Halo and experiences like God of War and The Last of Us, and look at the Xbox Showcase, South of Midnight. You see all those great games that we're seeing. We don't see any of that kind of content on mobile, which is bigger than consoles by far. And we don't see that kind of content on VR. Until we see those kind of experiences in other mediums, consoles will always be here.
I think
you know that's going to
you'll see
start
that.
promo, right? That's going to start in like arenas like laser tag, where you'll have a visor headset that changes.
They already do that.
Yeah, they already do that. Yeah.
Really?
I think
they have laser tag where you put a VR headset on and you have laser tag in like fucking fantastical sci-fi worlds that it's not
really.
Yeah.
So, as someone who plays a lot of mobile games,
guys, give me a second.
Game is screwed.
Cozy, I don't mean to stop you here.
Yeah, I got to bounce because I got another.
Okay,
podcast.
go ahead and first of all, let me go ahead and get Luke's outro, and then I'll get yours, Sir X-Man.
My outro is brief. You will find me on TSWS Gaming with Ham Solo, Cozy Beluga, Metlikes Games from Monday to Monday. We have something on almost every single day. And it was nice chatting with you guys. Thanks for having me on, Wize.
As always, it's a pleasure.
Have a good one. Cheers, Sir
You
X-Man,
too,
Super, Triple, Cerebral, Cozy, KY, cheers, and Wize. It's always fuck you, brother. It's always fuck you.
Thank you, man. It's always a pleasure. You know, it's always a pleasure.
Peace out, Luke.
Okay. Go ahead, Sir X-Man.
I'm getting ready to bounce out. I had fun. I can't believe I did this 2 weeks in a row with you.
Thank you.
But I'm about to head over to GRG with K Mega, everybody. You know, that's the weekly spot for me. And we got some topics that we're going to have some fun. What'd you say?
I'm going to go harass K Mega after this. Like,
yeah, you always harass K Mega. Whatever. But I'll catch everybody on the flip. It was nice talking to everybody again. Hey, and Nova. I'm getting used to you now, brother. I'm getting used to you now. First time we was here, we was having disputes, but we starting to get that flow, ain't we? But hey,
stalker, future stalker.
But KY, good seeing you again, man. I'm starting to see you a lot more, man, and you're doing really good. Keep it up, bro. Keep it up.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
And slow mo.
You know, I know Cozy like.
I see you whenever I see you, slow mo. And Paul,
that's right, man.
Take care. And why is there a laser pointer in your background?
That's a lightsaber. He's a Sith.
I think he's got his target on somebody. And he's getting ready to
No, you're
shoot
probably
him.
just seeing a reflection of something. I don't know.
All right, Cozy. You be good for a change.
Appreciate it, Sir X-Man. As always.
And Triple, good seeing you again, brother.
I mean, you can't see me, but you don't.
Do we? Okay, not to pivot too much off of this topic, but also, do we see the? Okay, so we have genres. Back in the day when we first got into the gaming as we see it and as we know it now, we had platformers, we had first-person shooters, we had all sorts of what's nots, right? And now those genres have sort of been melded and mixed and stuff. So it's not like exactly everything has RPG elements. Everything has like something or another going on. So the lines of what constitutes as an RPG or a platform or whatever has been blurred. What do we still have those genres 40 years hence, or is it roughly the same game?
I think it keeps innovating. I mean, like just take 5 years ago, actually a little bit longer than that. Let's say about 7 years ago, nobody really cared for Battle Royale like that. Nobody really cared for live service games like that. And a lot of games are still being designed with the kind of old school. You have a massive single player experience and then attacked on multiplayer experience to that to kind of keep people engaged after they go through that massive single player experience. That still is getting done, but it's just not as popular as or productive and generating revenue way as going the live service route. I think there was this data that came out and it showed the most played platforms of 2023 and on all platforms. Sorry, I said the most played platforms, most played games on all platforms in 2023. All of them on average, the games were over 7 years old. These were like games that's been established for a minute. So these are the games that everyone's playing, like your Fortnite, your Valorant, your Apex Legends, games that are live service games that people have invested time in. And to get them off the game, it's like you have to have a game that's not just better than that game. You have to have a game that's so much better that they have to ignore the feeling like they are losing out on an investment of time and money that they spent in a game that's consistently giving them content. Like that wasn't even a thing a decade ago, but it's a thing now. So like another decade from now, it could be a game that all of us would be like, people are playing this? Like what the heck is that? And it's just like, but the new generation it's the rage. It's what everyone's doing. And it just will continue to keep evolving like that because new generations they get involved and like stuff that us old guys don't care about.
Yeah, but are we really seeing any new genres being formed? I know subgenres, sure. I would say battle royale is more a mode than a genre. But are we going to see new genres? Is what he was asking. I don't know that we see new genres. I think the genres that we have will still be here. It's just
I would say battle royale is a genre now. It started out as a mode.
Well, no, because like Apex is the first-person shooter, Fortnite's a third-person shooter.
Though that's not a genre, though. That's just a perspective of how you play the game. That's not the game design. The game design is you drop into a big map. You got like 100 people, and whether you're squadded up solo or on teams, the last one survives is the one that wins, and there's a circle that gets smaller and smaller. Like that's
so you would say that Call of Duty Warzone is a different genre than Call of Duty.
Yes, than the multiplayer, yeah. But those massive platforms at that point, like only Call of Duty can be able to support all of that. Like only Activision would decide to have like 9 studios work on one game,
it is unparalleled in that sense.
Yeah, so it's like Call of Duty, like even the Warzone is a battle royale, but it's just like the multiplayer is still Call of Duty multiplayer. The campaign is still Call of Duty campaign, but it does so much. They do so much stuff. Like no one else can actually do what they do at this point. But I do think battle royale is a genre. I mean, I think hero shooters is a genre now. If you think about the design of it, you got smaller maps, you got characters that you got to learn. They all play differently. You got tanks, you got healers, you got DPS. Yeah, and you gotta have a balance where like the strategy is good enough, where you have characters that are good enough where people can figure out the strategy and make it work. Like this is something that Concord is going to have to figure out, when they come out with their game. I think that in itself is a genre that Overwatch has mastered, that Bleeding Edge couldn't master, that Valorant has mastered. Like these modes become genres when they grow big enough, and then there's a successful game that's literally all it does. Yeah, you're a genre now.
Paul,
yeah, I don't.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Triple. Then Paul after you.
Wait, what?
No. I'm sorry.
Oh, I started to say something and then I stopped.
I guess the only thing I do agree with Slomo here when it comes to genres, especially with Warzone and Battle Royale, and we're seeing other hero type games with the Marvel game that's coming out that's also going to hero shooter.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Marvel Rivals.
When you have so many games starting to replicate or copy the same particular formula, have the same concepts behind it, then I do think it's fair to call it genre at that point. And yeah, as you're saying, Super, you can have if you're fixated on first person shooter, third person shooter, even then you'll have some games like, hey, it's a third person military shooter or something like that, first person military
Right,
shooter. But
but then that wouldn't that technically be a subgenre? Like your genres would be first person shooter, third person shooter, action platform, fighting, racing, JRPG, Western
RTS.
RPG, RTS. Like those are the genres, and then you have the subgenres within those genres. So I think a battle royale first person shooter, that's a subgenre of FPS. Like that. I don't know. That's the way I personally see it. But yep.
I don't know.
I
think-
personally agree with him because if Master Chief Collection was to add a 50-player battle royale, would you call that a separate genre within a game that is already the genre of a first-person shooter? Or would you call that a subgenre inside of the game that was a first-person shooter?
Well, I understand they're saying like,
it would
well, it's the perspective, but yeah, the first person part is the perspective, but the shooter is what makes it the genre. It's a first person shooter, third person shooter.
Right, correct.
I mean, for Fortnite, they shoot guns. That's the primary method of playing Fortnite. So
let me say this. Okay, we talked about Fortnite. You're talking about Fortnite. You're talking about Call of Duty and stuff. Do the pillars of gaming that exist now, be it Fortnite, be it Call of Duty, be it whatever you want to call it, does that still exist in the future,
That's
or is
so
it
hard
just
to
one?
say, man? Because
it is.
Because when you look at
Yeah,
it
no,
now,
it's
it's hard to imagine a world where there's no Fortnite. It's hard to imagine a world where there's no Call of Duty, especially since they've been staples of this thing called gaming for so long.
Mhm.
But 40 years is also so long from now.
And we've seen staples
None of this
fall.
shit could be around. Right. None of this shit could be around in 40 years for all we know. Like, it's just so hard to say. But admittedly, it is hard for me to see. I think I could see a world where Fortnite is gone more than Call of Duty. Personally, but
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I mean,
I don't
maybe
know.
never mind. You're right. I don't think I see a world where either one of them might be gone, because I see how Fortnite isn't what it was.
It's like Epic's jewel, though, right? Like that's like the prize jewel of Epic is Fortnite, pretty much.
Fortnite's a lot of things, though. Fortnite
Yeah,
isn't.
it is.
It's not even like I imagine Fortnite being like in the great VR future, MR future, whatever.
Yeah.
Fortnite being a staple of that, and it wouldn't be something that any one of us could imagine.
Yeah. I think the IP starts to transcend to a point where it's just like you can't even call it one game anymore. And you see that with the creative mode of Fortnite, where people are creating like immersive gaming experiences. People are creating horror-like stuff. Like
it's
none of that
essentially a
stuff
game
is
launcher
just
now. It's like it's this whole new thing.
It's a nicer looking version of Roblox is what it is at this point.
I also think
PlayStation Dreams.
We'll always see people. I think as long as we're in an era of easy and accessible creation, you'll see things that are different.
Yeah.
What about you, Paul? I've not heard from you yet. What do you think?
Because every time I try to talk, people ain't.
Well, no, sorry. Well, go ahead. Now, what do you see gaming just sort of metamorphosized to become in 40 years hence? And of course, 40 years is a long time, but we're just spitballing here. But just generally speaking, based off of what your current trends or what because you know more than most of us on the panel do. So, yeah,
I'll be dead. No.
Wow.
I think it will be probably a form of mixed.
No, before you say that though, I just want to step in. I was just playing a joke because you said every time you try to say something to somebody.
That's why he went all black screen, because he wasn't curse you out.
That's okay. It's not like certain people that just jump in with random asinine shit every time.
I feel targeted.
Damn.
Shit.
The floor is yours.
Go ahead.
Give it to us.
Of all the things when I really don't have much to say, I mean, you guys have covered most of it. Do I think things like Call of Duty and or any of the games we're playing now may or may not be running 40 years, except on the Nintendo Switch 4, which will take them about that long to get that one out. So, and they'll be doing all the old classics like, Call of Duty Warzone and,
Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers for the 4,000th time,
Yeah.
But then again, at the same boat, Disney will also be taking out of the vault, the 2500 release of Snow White and, things like that.
No, but okay, from an accessibility standpoint, what do you think is going to change to? Are we still playing on gamepads or what?
Sir X-Men had to say, and I disagree. I think, he's saying we'll be running around, moving around. I think it's going to get to the point to where you may not have to. I mean, they already those that have a Quest know, and those that they have sit-down modes where a lot of it can be done while sitting in your seat. You just let it know that I ain't moving my ass out of this chair.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
And so you can sit there, and they have ways you can control it to tell it that you want to move across the room, or that you want to climb that wall, or and especially now with eye tracking and stuff, a lot of that stuff even becomes simpler because eye tracking currently on PCs can do stuff like that. If you have the right gears. So 40 years from now, gaming is going to be a totally different beast.
Okay, KY, let me ask you this. Right now, the race is to make the most perfect hyper-realistic graphic you can. Do you think 40 years hence that's still going to be a metric that people are going to be chasing after, or or is it going to be something else?
No, I believe we're going to reach. I mean, we've already seen right now. I thought about it earlier today, and now I can't think of the name of the game. There is this game. What is it? It's like a shooter that you're running around hallways and whatnot, and you're like fighting people with guns. Well, no, this game is like super realistic. Like,
is that about the one where he's like in an abandoned building or something?
Is it body cam?
Body cam. Thank you very much. Body cam is already showing us, and it's just scratching the surface of hyper realism. So we're going to get to a point where I think everything that we play, you're going to have your certain niche games that stick to a certain artistic flair.
Nintendo.
And you're going to have games. Yeah, exactly. But you're also going to have your games that really go for that realism.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get to the point where everything is going to look and play as realistic as it possibly can. Like when I say play, I mean from unloading to unjamming to, crafting a certain way, not just turning a large stick into 4 smaller sticks, but actually how you cut them. And
of what?
I don't. So we're going to, in the future, we're going to reach a point where games aren't going to be able to look any more realistic than they already look. So in 40 years, the focus is going to be on how immersive that game is, whether it's through VR, AR. We're going to be getting into more of the simulation phase in 40 years of how we put ourselves or make ourselves feel like we're in this environment as much as possible. That is what's going to be in 40 years. We're going to reach a peak here in about 10 years where everything, if you want it to, is going to look as realistic as possible.
Yep. We're
going to reach a point where how much
the uncanny valley is.
We're gonna have the hardware that's capable, and it's easily accessible, and the engines that are capable of harnessing that power easily within the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay, so here's a question.
At that point, we're going to see where we saw it like 15 years ago. Where remember NVIDIA PhysX and all this stuff started coming out. Remember when Half-Life 2 first dropped and how everybody was blown away by how you could use the physics in that game by sending the gravity actually worked the way it was supposed to work in the game. And then we kind of got away from that because we reached a plateau on that and everybody was happy with it. And now we're focusing on graphics and getting everything to look. I think we're going to come back full circle to the physics area, because that is what's going to bring the immersion, and that's what they're going to be targeting in 40 years is the physics, the immersion, to making it feel more realistic and not just look more realistic.
And
Yeah.
AI is probably going to have a big focus in that as well.
Well, yeah, let me go
And
to
you
that
made me
one.
think
Let me-
about also we may also have the addition of for the immersion things that because I already have basic little cheesy things that lets your body smell what you know whatever the strongest odor
Smell-o-vision.
I want to taste. I want to taste the cake in the game.
I mean, they may get to that
Yeah.
point at least to be
The
able
cake
to
is a
fool your
lie.
sensors to think you're.
I want to taste Chun-Li.
You can
that's what
eat
I'm saying.
all the imaginary cake and not gain a single pound.
Chun-Li's got cake.
You know what? You don't know anything about cake.
Chun-Li's got a taco. I'm more interested in the tacos. So there you go. Anyhow, well, see, okay.
Sir.
We talk about AI, right? What does it look like in 40 years? Like AI, is that basically like we're just going to tell this AI, this is the type of game we want to play, is going to generate that in real time and that's it, or what? Or are we still going to have developers?
It's a bit deeper than that.
Possibility.
Yeah, because I mean, you're still going to have humans that are curating what the AI is creating and saying, well, that doesn't work. Let's go deeper. Let's feed it more content. Let's create more things for it to kind of do what we needed to do. Because what AI definitely can do right now in game development is shorten it. Because as we have wanted more realism, better animations, bigger worlds, more immersiveness, this has created this situation where game development went from 3 years game development to 4 to now we're talking like 6-7 years of game development.
We're also talking about 40 years of development and innovation, right? Like we are already at the point now where you can tell AI, make me this scenario, and it'll make you a video of that scenario that looks like someone was filming it with a camera.
Yeah.
And so like in 40 years, maybe someone can want to design a level for a game and just tell the AI, I want a level that looks like this, and explain it. And the AI just goes, boom, there's your level.
Yeah. And it'll take some time to get there. But
Yeah.
and you're going to get developers that hate that, because what that means is that a lot of them are going to end up being out of a job. This is what would take 300 developers to make is going to take like 100. You know, if that. And so although that's going to be better for the gamer in the long run of getting more games faster and having more, even like indie or AA developers being able to do things that used to take a AAA studio to do, it's still going to end up being some attrition on the development side of things, because there's going to be less people having a job to kind of do those things. You don't need as many character artists when you can just get one character artist who has a great art direction for what you're looking for.
Who can yell at the AI and go, 5 fingers, you stupid bitch.
Right. and then
have you seen a hand, you dumb bitch?
Right, because I mean, like, this is it's the way it's working now is very inefficient. You know, everyone's using C++ coding, and there's all that. Like I do a little bit of that mostly in my day job, a network engineer. But like I've created some programs before, and I'm just like, I couldn't do this all day every day of my life. But like this is like to create all those lines of code to make a game, and then having to like put in the build to make sure it works, and then getting errors and fixing the errors. Like all this stuff is the reason why this stuff takes forever to come out. And to be able to have automate some of those things so that like some of the redundancies can get done without having someone's eyes on a human being doing it. It's just it's inevitable. People hate it, but it's inevitable. It's going to happen. So
okay, so like another thing, game pads have not really evolved to any appreciable extent since its evolution, since its advent with the NES. I mean, yeah, you've had more buttons and stuff like that. Maybe you've added a little thumbstick or something like that, or 2 thumbsticks. But generally speaking, it's a gamepad. Yeah, it's a gamepad, right? I mean, that's all it is. Are we still playing on a gamepad, or is the I/O going to be something different?
It'll still be the Xbox gamepad. which I wanted to mention earlier. You mentioned Steam's put out that most of their players that use controllers use an Xbox controller.
But are we still playing on a gamepad, or does the I/O of the interaction change now?
I think in some games, it's I think there'll be some still kind of handheld controller, I'm sure. And I mean, but there's always a chance that the whole virtual reality, mixed reality thing will be able to really tell what your fingers are doing. Because right now, it can tell up and down, but it can't necessarily tell, putting pressure on something necessarily as well as it would be able to,
Yeah.
So I mean,
or even something as like walking in the forward direction, you move the thumbstick up. Like how does that calibrate? That's what I'm saying.
You could. I mean, even now, I think some games may allow you to just use your finger and put it up there, because even the Quest will allow you to use just your hands to control stuff, where you don't have to hold the controller. It doesn't work that great, but it's there in its early stages. So 40 years from now, it may be a lot better, where you can point somewhere in front of you with your finger and tap, and all of a sudden you're walking that way.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and like that, and like the Apple Vision, they started to work on things like being able to track your hands and track finger taps and stuff like that, to be able to use gestures to manipulate the operating system. So that's only going to get better.
But I mean, if you're talking about like fingers, like right here, and you're telling something like a character on a screen to move forward, if you go like this, like how long can you hold that? I don't know. Like I can't think of, or I can't. Maybe it's just my brain and stuff. I can't think of another user interface that will be as comfortable as a gamepad. I think the gamepad has endured in the years that it has endured because it is the most comfortable interface that we know of right now when it comes to gaming, apart from your keyboard and mouse.
I think that's about the generations, though. I think that's about the generations, though, because like my kids don't find controllers the most comfortable way of playing games. They have grew up playing games on phones, so touchpad is fine for them. Like touch screen is fine for them, and I can't play a game like that, but they can. They play with mouse and keyboard on computers, and they find all of that far more comfortable than using a controller. So it just really depends. You talk about like decades in the future. It depends on the generations of what they're playing as kids. Because the reason why you and I find controllers the most comfortable is because we played on Nintendo. And we played on when there's just a directional pad and an A and B button. We learned how to play games like that. And then it evolved to still allow us to play games like that. So we don't even though I'm on PC primarily, I still play with controllers. I got like 5 different controllers I played with, but rarely will you see me play a game with mouse and keyboard. But like there are people that are far more familiar with that than I am. And unfortunately we hate to hear it, but the older we get, the less of us are still playing games. And the more generations that come in, what they're comfortable with is what game developers are going to start developing their games for, to be more intuitive for them, because they're going to be the bigger people, the bigger movers of revenue in the gaming industry. So,
well, let me ask you
whether
this:
whether it's mouse or keyboard, though, or control, I really don't see them going anywhere anytime soon. Just because of you think about all the inputs required to play most games. It's a lot of inputs, and I don't see any other way of being able to manipulate them other than having a controller or a mouse and keyboard, even 30, 40 years from now. Even if they had really good hand tracking technology, it's like you're still not going to be able to get everything as quick and precise as if you're just holding a freaking controller.
But they may look nothing like the controllers that we know of.
No, they may not look like the controllers that we know now, but to move away from that, like you got to think about whenever you make a new product, it's like you're trying to solve a problem. Like, what problem are you solving by moving away from the controller?
I think
I don't know,
because I think we've hit peak controller. I mean, I don't know what more they could do.
Yeah, exactly that. As the most I would probably say is that there's anything they can do in the VR space with the controllers and maybe the tracking of a full body experience. But when it comes to the actual game controller, exactly as Nova was saying, like unless there's really any need to change the formula, unless someone like, hey, I want to have backwards buttons now or something like that, I don't really see any changes. Like the only time again is probably a new person entering the space and want to try to differentiate their controller by some small amount, but a complete overhaul from a traditional controller, I don't really see why. At most, maybe take some notes from what they're doing with the DualShock 5 or DualSense, and how can we implement what's already there and improve upon that specifically, but no dramatic shift unless they add like feet controllers or something like that.
If you think about, like, for example, like small things that, you know, never really thought of, like what Nintendo did with the Joy-Cons.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There'll be innovations in how the controllers are used.
I mean, breakable, but think about it. The Joy-Cons are both 1 and 2 controllers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
That's an impressive thing to, like, you know, that's a new way of utilizing.
And the HD Rumble that they implemented at the time was way better than anything else on the market for a controller.
Okay, well, you're talking about Joy-Cons, and let's bring it to portability. And right now, we have a avenue to play games on a set-top box, and we have avenues to play games portable. Is that still a thing? Are there still a delineation between at home and portable, or is it just one game? It doesn't matter how you're accessing it.
I think there's still delineation, but not. I think no. I think it's the opposite. I think we're going to see like less need for different ways of access point, and you might have different access points where, you know, you dock whatever device you have, be it like your phone, just dock it, continue on with your TV, or
but I think if there is a dock, or if you have something that is physical, like in the home that connects to your TV, there's always going to be the case where whatever it is that you have in your home is more powerful than whatever you can take on the go. Doesn't matter what it is or what year it is. Whatever you have that's portable is going to be less powerful than what you have in the home.
Okay, well, I want to take a pushback on that. Wait a second, Super. What about with like the way the 5G, 6G wireless stuff is going? Do you think that 40 years hence that delineation that we need for
You
portable
think everything will
versus
be
console?
just streaming?
Yeah.
Nah.
No.
Nah.
I think as long as cellular companies enjoy throttling.
I think the another question is, what would be the reason to make everything streaming, especially if by some chance the consoles went away? I highly doubt everyone's getting rid of their PCs. So why would you go to streaming at that point if everyone still has something to play on it?
There's certain experiences that it doesn't matter if you can take it portable. Like, you're going to want to experience it on your larger TV. Like, I can watch Netflix on my phone, but I choose not to. I'd rather watch it on my TV. I can take it with me everywhere I go, but I don't watch Netflix while I'm out on my phone, even though I can. I'll wait and I'll watch it on my TV when I get home.
But I mean, there are lots of people who do just watch it on their phone.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. I'm just saying, but there's going to be people that it doesn't matter what the portability is. Like, there's certain gaming experiences and certain people that are going to rather have that experience on the larger display.
But I think
there's less and less of those people.
Less and less people, as
as
you
time
guys,
goes on.
we're the aging crowd. So
yeah, absolutely.
Less of
That's
us.
why the mobile market is more than 50% of all gaming revenue. It's because there's less people that care more about the big screen, highest fidelity experiences than those who
are also playing fucking Clash of Clans.
No, they aren't. That's the thing. Like, a lot of
they're playing
people are
COD Mobile.
They're using their phone seriously as a gaming device.
They're using COD Mobile. They're playing COD Mobile. They're playing Fortnite. They're playing a game that a lot of us have forgotten about. But Blue Hole made the game. What was it? It was the Fortnite before Fortnite. PUBG. Yeah, PUBG Mobile is massive, and like these are, there are clearly some game experiences that like we don't care for that are big on mobile, but then there are also some of those games that kind of like cross gen. Like there's some RPGs, turn-based RPGs that do big on mobile that would actually do pretty well on some of these devices. Fantasian is one of them. That developer was Mistwalker. They made Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey back in the day. Inferno's right. Genshin Impact, one of the biggest games in the world, can be played on everything, but it's very, very big on mobile. So it's just,
but you can't use controller or Android, and I would be playing more if I could. But good to you.
But a lot of these people, they don't necessarily need controller. They're not it's like that's an extra thing because they just
Well,
have to film.
I hope I'm dead and gone by the time that fucking that world is a reality, because I don't want everything to be just on a mobile device.
Okay, well, let me ask one last question on this topic, and then we'll go ahead and call it a night. But I want to go to what you said earlier, Slow-Mo. You said something to the effect that about Black Mirror and how Black Mirror, introduces ideas of technology going awry. But famously, Black Mirror did something that heretofore has not been done yet and has not been really replicated as well. Is that interactive experience, like Bandersnatch? I think it was the name of the actual title from Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Where you choose your own, like the ending or whatever. You choose different decision points. So it got me thinking. Right now, like we play a game and we'll watch a movie, then we'll maybe get the game that's based on that movie or something like that. But do you think in the future that gaming and movies and maybe even TV shows just become one big, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for, one big entertainment identity? And like, okay, you want to watch, say, for example, Black Mirror, you can either watch it passively or you can click an option and play it. Do you think that's the future, or do you think that there's still going to be a delineation between movies, TV shows, and games?
There'll still be different camps for that. They'll still it's the latter. I mean, like what Black Mirror did is essentially what we see. You can find a lot of games on Steam that do exactly what they're like. You ever heard of a publisher called Wales Interactive? They get a lot of actors that can't get jobs with like decent movies because they suck at acting, but they get these actors in and they basically shoot a movie in various different sections and ways where basically you make the choice and then it kind of changes where it goes from there. It's like basically 24 of them on Steam right now. You can play through them at various degrees.
And I don't know if you know this, but
the Quarry and Supermassive games are like that.
Right, and those are like that too, but they're a bit more
Telling
what
Lies.
we're familiar with, right? Yeah,
games like Telling Lies that actually use like
It actually isn't anything new. Like I remember when I was a kid, I don't know if it was the 80s or 90s, but there was some company that was doing something similar to what Bandersnatch was. It was a certain chain of theaters or something where there were a particular film that would play and the audience would have controllers. And as the film would play through, the audience would pick an option on what they want to happen next. And somehow, however the fuck they did it, that would be the next scene that played out. And I don't think it lasted very long, but it was something that existed.
That had to be the 80s. That had to be the 80s.
Yeah. It originated from books too. Yeah.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah,
those are awesome too. I love those.
I love
those.
The Lone Wolf series,
the-
especially,
the-
those were really
the
good.
movies
back
were
in the
I
day.
had all the Animorph ones.
The
Yeah.
movies were
Yeah.
done with the same technology that the video game was done. The cartoon video game where as you moved, it would change how the game ended depending on the move you made. Oh crap, what's it called?
Oh, Dragon's Lair.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Oh,
And there was
yeah.
another with Space Ace as well. That was another
Yeah,
one.
it was made by the same people.
Yeah. Yeah,
It
those
was
And
the
I
same
think-
idea
I
with the
think it was
movies. It just
Disney
changes
animators,
track.
too.
It just changes track
Yeah.
based on the choice.
wa-
you make.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that whole track is just a genre. It's a genre at this point. Like Telltale popularized it.
Yeah.
It's in the gaming space, and it blew up from there. You got Supermassive making those kind of games. Quantic Dream. You got Don't Nod, and what's the one that took over Life is Strange for Don't Nod? Something Moon. Not Ballistic Moon. Yeah, but Ballistic Moon took over Until Dawn from Supermassive. But there's another one that now works for Square Enix that does Life is Strange now that Don't Nod doesn't. But there's a lot of studios that specialize in that particular genre. But it's just a genre. It does work well in other forms of media because there's very little actual like interactions that you have to make. You don't need a controller to play that, honestly. Like I think that you could use a remote, and be able to do those kind of things. My kids got like some weird guy that gets into adventure kind of situations on Netflix. They could use a controller to choose what he does next. They love that kind of thing, but it's limited gaming interactions. It's barely a game, but it still could be considered a game because you have some agency in it. But I think that as far as merging genres, merging different forms of media, like that's not going to grow any further than where it is now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. What about, okay, well, we're all creators. What does content creation look like 40 years from now as a gamer?
All AI.
All AI.
I mean, it's already like that. How many videos do you watch now where you realize about 30 seconds in, oh, this motherfucker's not even really talking. You just type some shit and the AI is reading it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just going to, yeah, it'll all be AI.
And what he typed in, he didn't even write because he went to chat GPT and said, write me a script for this video. And then 3 seconds later, this well-written script that he could never do in a year gets sent to him, and he just throws that in. I mean, look, some of the biggest TikTokers aren't even doing content like that. They're stealing other people's webcam live reaction to something completely different, and then taking some other content, splicing it together and uploading it on TikTok. So if you guys got your face cams out, if you guys do a shock face right now, you might end up being on a TikTok being shocked about a guy getting ate by a shark, and there's nothing that had to do with anything that you had actually seen. But I've seen a dude say he does 3 videos like that a day, and he makes over $100,000 a year with TikTok.
I am in the wrong video, man.
Yeah. So content creations is just, now it's all about just shock and awe, and whether it's real or not. I don't know.
And then you have those content creators where they overlay AI characters over themselves.
Yeah.
And that's gotten better and better over time. Like, it was jank as fuck a couple years ago. Now it's like watching a really well animated NPC in a video game.
Yeah, what do they call it? Is that VTubers? Is that what that is?
Something like that. Yeah.
VTubers with the anime characters. Yeah.
So I've seen people do that as well. I've seen a lot of people do that. Yeah. Some content creators, I'm just like, you're an awesome content creator. People love looking at you, and then they went to an anime character that looks kind of like them. I'm just like, all right, I guess that works.
All right. Well, anyone else have anything to say about this topic? In the year 3000. Well, it's more than.
No, I put in the private chat for you to check out, Wize, if you haven't, a link to that video I was talking about where the AI produces the video clips of whatever you input. Like, you should check it out, because like it's insane what we're able to do with video now, and to think about where this same technology was just a year ago to where it is now. To think about where it's going to be in another 5 years, it's insanity.
Yeah, this one right here.
If you watch the clips that you're going to see, these are completely AI generated. The people don't. Well, that's what the technology was like a year ago. This was Will Smith eating spaghetti, and this was. Someone typed in Will Smith eating spaghetti and it made this. It's not real, but like, that's pretty damn good. But wait till you see what the shit is like now. Let's see. Like, that is completely AI generated. That person does not exist. He's not a real person. This girl, not a real person. That street, not a real street. This man doesn't exist.
Shit. We're out of a fucking
I know there's
job.
I don't know who it was. Some YouTuber was trying to make his whole identity of like, hey, I'm pushing towards creating a channel that's purely run by AI. I'm just like, I mean, for people who just want to sit back and rake in the money, I guess I get it. But in terms of like actually creating it, and you're not being there, you just type it into AI. I just don't see the appeal. I know some people try to say, well, think of those that I guess are uncomfortable in camera or are unable to for some limitation, but even then, it's still like you're not being yourself and putting yourself out there for the fans to enjoy and appreciate. But as you're showing with this, if they can't differentiate the two, it doesn't really matter.
I think the theft is more of a problem than like people using stuff. Just being AI.
Using
is a big problem.
Yeah, using AI to assist with the content creation process, I think that's completely fine. It's like when you have it do everything, as we were speaking about with a bit when it comes to game creation, you just kind of lose that appeal. But yeah, people sit back and let do all the work and rake in the money.
They kind of do that already, though, when it comes to procedural generation. Granted that the artists have to come in and tweak this and tweak that, but I mean, they're still allowing the AI to do the heavy lifting there.
Well, anyways, we'll see how it goes. As I said, I'll be 89 years old, and this thing is crazy. What you're showing me here, Super. I'm streaming it right now, as you see.
Well, if you're 89 years old, AI will help make you look like you're 49 again.
No, I'm just going to be one of those guys from Futurama with a head in the jar.
This is all AI.
You just gotta be more lucid in your conversation than Joe Biden, and you'll be good to go.
Which is not hard, as long as I can speak in a coherent sentence.
And the other crazy thing about this is you got to think about, for this AI thing of this girl walking down the street, whatever prompt they put in, the AI is generating the cloth physics. It's doing the reflections on the street.
People not gonna be going outside to record no more.
It fucks up.
Apparently, that monitor's doing ray tracing. So.
Oh my god. Hey, Wize, I'm gonna have to go ahead and go.
No, go ahead and tell us. We're going to close it out now. So let's go ahead and get
Will
everyone's
Smith video is horrifying.
That's some nightmare fuel, right?
All right, let me go ahead and start with Triple, since you said you have to run. So go ahead, tell us where we can find you, sir.
You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter at Triple Combo Gaming. Yeah, that's about it. Here every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern time, I suppose. Yeah, short and sweet. I'm a go ahead because I realize I'm late to bed.
What? You're going to bed?
I gotta get up like at 5 tomorrow.
Grandpa?
Yeah. So, but before I go, it's nice chatting with everyone, especially with you, Slomo. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, no problem.
Everybody, enjoy the rest of your night or morning or evening, whichever your time zone is. And I'm gonna go ahead. Peace out.
Cool beans. All right. Slow-mo, my man, thank you for showing up. And I've been trying to get you on for the longest time. So this is like a huge it's a huge thing for me that you came up on my podcast. I've been watching and listening to you guys since like forever, like 4 years now, back, when I first saw you on Crossfire and everything. And I'm like, one day, hopefully one day, if I have a show, he'll be there. So, you've helped me sort of. Yeah, I mean, it may not be a big thing to you, but it's a big deal for me. So yeah, I really.
Hey, that is awesome. Hey, look, I was glad to do it. I'm always open to any time someone's having gaming conversations, I'm there. So anytime you want me back on, just let me know. I had a good time. You guys are, cool peoples. So it was a good time. I do have to go as well. My kids are just starting to walk.
Yeah, tell us where we can find you, sir.
Yeah, Damage Per Second podcast. We got a whole channel. If you guys know who Gaming Forte is, that's my co-host. We have a good time. Forte can't pronounce anything or type anything correctly, so we have some fun with him about that. But it's pretty awesome. We have a good time doing it, and come check us out whenever you have the free time to.
Well, great. Thank you so much for showing up, and it's an honor to have you on, and it would be a pleasure to have you on again. So anytime.
Yeah. All right, you guys take care.
Take care.
Mm-hmm. Take it easy, man.
Okay, Paul, tell us where we can find you, sir.
What's up?
I don't give a. Oh, never mind. You can find me at Twitter, CerebralPaul1, Twitch at CerebralPaul. Mondays and Thursdays, you can find me on 4GQ TV on Twitch. Mondays for the Pop podcast. Thursdays for the 4GQ TV regular show whenever we have it. Fridays, you can find me here. Wednesdays, you can find me on the Xbox Ambassador channel. We're gaming differently with Cerebral Paul, 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, now you can find me editing articles and sometimes giving articles or having input on articles on lordsofgaming.net.
Cool. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. KY, my man, always a pleasure to have you on and helping you coming in and helping me with the hosting duties on occasion. I really appreciate it. Tell us where we can find you, sir.
That's cool. It's KY, which stands for Kentucky, not the lube, you sick bastard. But I let people run with it anyway. It's fun. KY Bob.
When you run with on lube, though, it's like
yeah, it does. It's on Twitter, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, YouTube. Do a podcast every Thursday night at 7 called Game Set Live, where I try and wrangle the shenanigans in of my panelists, which Fabio usually gets them all excited, and they end up jumping around like a bunch of uncontrollable monkeys in a yeah, in a lab. So it's tough. So, and anyway, yeah, it was a pleasure coming on here. Always a blast to come on here and drink some bourbon, get a little tipsy with my gaming friends, and look forward to seeing you all next time.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Super, tell us where we can find you, sir.
YouTube at Supernova Gaming, Twitter at Yo It's Nova, and then here every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern.
All right, great. Appreciate it. And finally, Cozy, you got the last word. Do you have anything to say?
Woo!
And tell us where we can find
The
you.
last word is gaming will be forever, you guys. Don't worry, because guess what? The same way we can play games from 20 years ago, we'll be able to play some of our favorites from in 20 years from now. There's no need to doom and gloom because the current gaming scene isn't for you. That's what backlogs are for.
Okay, so tell us where we can find you.
You can find me in the club, bottle full of
All
right. Okay, so you're not gonna like what I just did.
Okay, before you move on, I just have to say she's got her camera turned off. But if anybody wanted to know exactly what that outro looked like, she was like, "Okay, listen, everybody. Gaming is for everybody. It's gonna be around forever."
And that's why I put the overlay of what I did.
I love you to death, Cozy. This is always good fun.
That's why I did that when she was talking.
Actually, I'm not. I'm actually not. I can't drink until the first.
Until you're 21.
No, the first, because I went to a convention like at the end of May, and I had like 2 liters of liquor.
Oh damn!
So.
Wow.
Oh shit!
So I'm not drinking until for an entire month.
No, I'm not drinking for the next 5 minutes because it's going to take me 5 minutes to go and fill up my wine glass again. So there you go.
I love my liver.
Yeah, it's the hardest 5 minutes of my life. There you go. All right. Anyhow, that is our show for tonight. So yeah, my name as always is the Wise Old Gamer, the man who brings the icky and sticky or the fun and dysfunctional, whichever way you want to see it. Yeah,
I don't want to see it at all.
Yeah, well, when you see it, you'll be changed forever. Trust me. Well, if you see it, please let me know because I've not seen it in years. So there you go. Anyhow, sorry, Paul. Sorry. Anyhow, guys.
Magnifying glass.
Well, yeah, you can find me, Wise Old Gamer with a Z, on PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and Twitter. And of course, here every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. You can catch our podcast on now, officially, of course, on YouTube, but officially you can also find us on Amazon and Spotify and Overcast and Apple Podcasts and wherever you consume your podcasts. So it's everywhere. Yep, we are everywhere. We're worldwide, baby. Yeah, so there you go.
Take it easy, Pitbull.
Yeah, so guys, yep, that is our show for tonight. Hopefully everyone had a great time. And yeah, just wanted to make sure that our job from day one has always been to make sure that your weekend starts right and it's nice and relaxed, no bullshit, no stress arguments about which console is this, and nobody give a fucking cares. As long as you're playing a game, you are a gamer, and you are welcome here. So yeah, as always, just make sure to tune in next weekend or next Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. And want to thank everyone who showed up in the chat, Mr. Inferno Games, RPG88, Real Gamer Reincarnate. Enate, Snipes, thank you guys for showing up. Rich Krishner, Lesser Logic, and yeah, of course, Priscilla, thank you for showing up. Freddy214. And before I forget, also, I want to say thank you to Mr. Bushido. He was supposed to come in, but he said, the panel is kind of full, so he said, nah, I'll dip. I'll show up next week. So yeah, I do have another show.
He doesn't show up for my show either.
Well, we all know about his situation, and he's always in our prayers. Whenever he's up to it, he's always has an open door here. He just says, shit, man, I'm coming on. So yeah. Anyhow, that's it for us tonight.
Kind of like me, huh?
Yeah, kind of like you. So yeah, guys, have a great weekend and play some games and stop playing your fucking plastic boxes because they don't matter, especially in 40 fucking years.
But that's where my games are.
Well, nobody cares about you. So anyways,
I
guys,
think
y'all-
what Wize is trying to say. Everybody go out, touch some grass, hug somebody you love, and game on.
Exactly. Everyone have a great night, and we will be speaking with you.